Support for The Gaming Outsider is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code THEGOCAST at manscaped.com.
Hey everybody, this is Grant Henry from Stemmage and Metroid Metal. For the first 2022 episode of The Gaming Outsider, the guys are discussing gaming in 2021. Once again, they've asked me to join them as we discuss the most important news stories from the past 12 months, our predictions for the coming year, and our personal favorite titles from the past year. We'll wrap things up with the Go's overall top picks of the year, as well as the communities. Hanging out won't cost you. Let's boil this pasta. This is The Gaming Outsider.
Greetings, programs, and welcome to The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community. Today is January 3rd, 2022. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are quite the panel this week. First off, Mr. Zack Parkerson. What's up, man?
Game of the year, game of the year, game of the year.
Are you saying Game of the Year? It sounds like you're saying Gameria.
Yeah, I was talking about Gamerias. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Didn't know if it was a new affliction you were having. I don't know what it was. Also joining us, Mr. Chris Behrensmeyer. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? It's that
doing
time.
All right, man. It is that time. And also, Miss Alyssa White. How you doing, Alyssa?
I'm doing okay. How you doing, Scott? It's goatee time.
It's... Oh, my head goes somewhere completely different.
I'm not even going to say it. You know what? We're not going to go there today.
You thought she was referencing like a 16-year-old piece of internet culture?
Yes, I really did. I did. Okay,
culture.
Yeah,
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
All right,
well, it's good that you know.
We'll tell you
spoil
later.
You after.
Nope, we're moving right on.
I'm sorry, guys.
Skipping past that one, we have actually another person joining us this podcast, as we do every Game of the Year episode. Alyssa, Game of the Year episode. That's we don't pronounce phonetically the acronym.
Okay.
Our good friend and who has also composed and performed all the music you hear on our shows. He is a guitarist for Stemmage, the band, and he's also responsible for Metroid Metal. It gives me great pleasure to welcome once again Mr. Grant Henry. How you doing, Grant?
I'm good. Game of the year. Game of the year. Good. Cody.
I'm not alone, yay!
No.
See, I was confused because his name says g.
Yes.
I'm just a few letters away.
Just a little bit. Well, this is our first episode of 2022, and we're kicking off the new year by having our annual Game of the Year discussion. I look forward to this so much every year. I believe someone said earlier that they like this episode because it reminds them of what they need to add to their backlog. So this is kind of like a recap of 2021. So we'll be recapping gaming in 2021, talk about our most memorable news stories, make some predictions for the coming year, and discuss our personal and combined games of the year. But before we do that, let's talk about some games that we've been catching up on. Grant, have you been playing anything at all since we talked to you last?
Yeah, I've knocked a feul things out, trying to catch up, but unfortunately Guardians is not one of them. That's probably my game of shame this year, but we'll talk about that later. But the Art of Rally is a game I've been playing on and off. It's sort of my podcast game. It's like the game that I can just kind of they're not calling directions out to you when you race, so I can just put a podcast on and play. It's just one of those kickback games. So knocked that out. Knocked out Artful Escape finally.
I have yet to play that. That's on Game Pass, isn't it?
It is. Both of these are all three of the games in my list are Game Pass games, which is incredible. Great game. You should play it. And then I finished the Gunk. So I wanted to be sure to do that before this episode.
Did you like that? Or are we going to talk about it later?
Let's talk about it later.
Okay. All right. Because I want to hear somebody else's thoughts that also completed it, because I finished it as well. All right. As for me, Borderlands Game of the Year edition, I decided I wanted to play it, and I contacted a couple of our community members. I talked to Joel Solinsky and CJ Moore, who both I've been trying to sit down and play a game with them for a while, and we finally made it happen. And I was telling our former producer, Christina, about it, and she said she wanted to play, so she hopped on and joined us. It was about 8:00 at night when we started. We sat down, started up Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, which is a basically remaster remake of the original Borderlands from like the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era. And I looked up, and it was 7 hours later, and we were level 20. And I think the cap on that game is 40. So we in one sitting, and I had the time of my life. It was like I'm legit looking forward to Friday when we're going to do this again. It was so much fun, so many laughs, and that game holds up surprisingly well. They've done some quality of life stuff to it to make it a little bit easier to swallow. Did you know there was no mini map in the original Borderlands? I did not remember that.
I know it was actually funny and interesting, unlike all of its sequels.
Oh my god, it was interesting. But
is it the best? I never touched any of them. So is that is the first one I wanted to play?
It's unquestionably the best.
Zack is in the vast minority of people that feel that way. Most people think that Borderlands 2 is its pinnacle.
I think you're both wrong. It's the Telltale game.
Well, definitely.
There you go. That almost doesn't count, though, right?
No, it doesn't.
It is good, though. Man, the shootout might be one of the funniest things I've seen in a game in years. That was fantastic. But Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, expect to hear more about that because we're gonna be keep on trucking with that. And CJ, Joel, and Christina have agreed to just keep on going. I've never played the pre-sequel for more than an hour. I want to do that. And
wow, I forgot that existed.
Yeah, so did I. And on top of that, I still haven't touched more than 45 minutes of Borderlands 3, which I hear is not as good as any of the previous games, but it's more Borderlands. And really, when you're just running around shooting guys with your buddies, you're more paying attention to your conversation than you are whatever stupid story's going on. It's just about shooting stuff and grabbing loot and watching numbers pop out because that was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Zach, CB, Alyssa, you guys catching up on anything this week?
Just more Dead Cells.
More Dead Cells.
How
cells. Like much content is that? How much extra content is that giving you?
A lot. There's actually still areas I haven't even reached.
Wow. And how many hours do you think you put in that game?
70-ish.
70-ish hours. Wow. And still having areas you haven't uncovered. I can't talk. I put over 100 hours in Binding of Isaac, and I still have like half the items.
I feel you. I put 134 hours into Binding of Isaac alone last year.
Wow. Crazy.
I think I'm up to 60 hours in Halo.
Which is insane for you, because how much of that's got to be at least 2/3 of that is multiplayer.
Oh, I would say if you have 45 to 50 of it is just multiplayer.
It's crazy.
I mean, I got my candy cane pistol for the winter event, so that's pretty exciting.
It's a candy cane pistol? Is it just literally a candy cane?
I mean, it's just like red and white striped, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's
I thought it was an actual.
And then my rocket launcher's got a little like a keychain charm of Master Chief and Cortana.
Aw,
it's a lot of good stuff happening on Halo. It's really happening over there.
I don't even have the multiplayer downloaded. I don't know.
That's unfortunate.
I know it is unfortunate, but there's just so much stuff to play. So much stuff to play.
I get it. It's actually quite bad. It's quite a detriment to, like, I gotta finish Chorus and Kena.
Yeah. Same here.
It's bad stuff.
Alyssa, anything else?
I mean, I completed Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm playing a game for review, but that's about it.
Nice. I know you guys have all beat Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm the only one that is still on Chapter 11 outside of Grant. Without spoiling anything, is there still tons of good stuff to come in the last 3 or 4 chapters?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I can't wait. I'm really excited to see what it does and listen to the spoiler cast, which we'll get to in a second.
You know what it has that a lot of games don't? A good ending.
That? Yeah?
Very good ending. Yeah.
Well,
I'd like to hear that.
Depends on who you talk to.
There are variations in the endings you can get. CB, as CB and I discussed on the spoiler cast. But,
did you guys have different endings then?
Yes, we did.
We did. Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting because I feel like there's not like a huge, like it doesn't split in a ton of different ways, like a Telltale game or I cannot think of the developer right now. Heavy Rain.
Oh, Quantic Dream.
Quantic Dream. Thank you. Like those games have just like insane branching paths. I just feel like there was just some here and there. There were some major ones.
There's enough.
There's enough. Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the Game of the Year discussion, which is normally our news section, but we're going to jump right into it with a recap of last year's news and predictions. All right, as we do most times this year, we're going to kind of skip the regular news this week because there's just so much to talk about. And a lot happened in 2021, but I want to ask you guys, what in your mind was the most important news story, announcement, or release that happened in the last 12 months? Alyssa, let's start with you. What happened in 2021, this last year, that you thought was the most important?
I don't know if it's necessarily the most important, but maybe it's the most shocking to some people that Elder Scrolls 6 will be Microsoft exclusive.
That's true. That and Starfield.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
a lot of people.
Starfield, yeah.
That was pretty big news. I came close to putting that one on my list, but I kind of assumed somebody would, so I held off and went a different direction. That's a good one. CB, how about you?
Well, you know me. I have a good one and a bad one.
Okay,
Which would you like first?
the bad one.
Well, he said most important. That's singular, so...
Well, some people thrive on good, some people thrive on bad. I thrive on chaos.
He's our Amanda. He's got to get his honorable mentions in there somehow.
Ooh. Yeah, Hollywood Outsider reference?
Ha-ha. So we'll go with the bad first. Activision and Blizzard.
All right, that was
Yeah.
actually mine. So
Yeah, I mean,
You can just say that later, Scott. You don't have to give it away.
that was the fact that was brought to light. I mean, it's still ongoing, and
Yep.
the fact that it's not done yet.
Hopefully, the news this year will be good news, right? Like as a
Right.
result of the crap from this past year. So
yeah,
Hopefully.
I honestly think that's why it's the
Hopefully.
most important story. I don't know what your good story is, CB, but I think to Grant's point that this whole thing being brought to light is going to see a huge shift in the games industry in terms of that. And even more so too, I think that there's going to be a lot of unionization coming in 2022 for sure. Not directly contributing to this story, but because of other stuff that's been going on. I just think that the workforce is going to be definitely changed, and I think this is a big cause of it.
Yeah,
Zach, how about you? Oh, I'm sorry, was it CB? You still have a good one.
Oh well, my good one is kind of a throwaway. MLB 2K comes to Xbox.
You mean the show?
Yeah.
They always
Well,
say,
Okay.
Wow. Yes, MLB the show comes to Xbox. I'm still hoping for that 2K revival, man.
any year now, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen with the Madden franchise anytime soon. I think they're going to lock that up. So,
That's fake news.
all right, Zach, how about you?
Yeah, well, I figured the Activision Blizzard thing would get talked about, but just so, Ubisoft seems like it's mostly gotten off the hook for its problems. So I'm going to say the biggest news with the potential biggest ramifications is them adding NFTs to Ghost Recon in Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Because right now it sucks, but if it works, that's a really dangerous thing for our industry to get into.
Seriously. And I keep seeing, I was shocked at how divided social media is on that issue. Like some
Yes.
people are just like, heck yeah, let's go do this. And I'm just thinking, why?
I don't understand it at all. Yeah, it's this false digital scarcity thing is such a bizarre thing to buy into,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it just, I don't know, it just preys on people. I mean, it's shocking how much like Madden and stuff just kind of feels like kids being allowed to gamble. This NFT thing just takes it up to a whole other level. Kids should not be auctioning.
I'm
Totally.
actually waiting for the whole NFT thing to blow up. Like somebody changes 10 like pixels on an entire NFT. Is it a new thing? Do we just rebrand it and be like, this is a new NFT now? It's been changed.
I'm worried it'll get to a point where it's affecting families, right? Because they use mom's credit card for that flask on your Ghost Recon guy that is one of a kind, and it just kind of leads to the dreaded regulation from the government. You know,
It's
I feel
it's
like
coming.
it's kind of like the free. Well, it's like the kid with the credit card and the free to play game thing too. You know, I don't know. People have to take precautions to stay away from that kind of stuff. But it is. I'll tell you that the amount of plagiarization, people getting their art stolen, and there are companies that are just taking NFTs that have already been made and flipping them around, flipping with a PH. I read this article yesterday on some decide about this. It's just a mess. It's an absolute mess, and we'll see what the market will decide. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah, there was a time where you would just play a video game.
There's I don't remember if you remember this, Scott, but there was that other game that was debuted at E3 that was like blockchains and NFTs. That's all it was.
Mhm.
I remember that one, but I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I can't remember it either.
Then Square Enix CEO put out that New Year's letter for the company saying that NFTs were the future. So, good stuff. Can't wait for our NFTs in Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
Oh, my
Non-fungible
God.
tokens. Woo!
Ugh. I don't know. It just makes me angry about. That's just not what I want in games. But to
There
be
will
fair,
there will always be an unpacking, Scott. It will always be there
That's
for
true.
us.
That's
it just
true.
won't be. It won't be in an Ubisoft joint. I don't know.
and that's
I don't know.
you actually bring up a good point, Grant. Because if games just wind up going the way of the NFT, and there's just no good games that we like to play anymore, it's okay because I've got about 7 or 8 years of backlog that will keep me satiated until I'm at retirement age and on my deathbed. So I will finally be caught up when I'm about 74 and a half years old, I think. So let's hang our head on that. Grant, what was your number? I'm sorry, CB, I cut you off.
I was actually going to say one because this Grant just brought up an interesting talking about like artists and NFTs.
Uh-huh.
Since they're now selling like screenshots of games as NFTs, can you imagine if somebody like buys up like 10 of these and says, I don't want them to be in games anymore? Do they have to delist the game?
I can't imagine
Looking forward to buying an NFT of Harley Quinn's ass.
Gonna post it on the wall.
I don't know, man. Is this? Am I understanding this correctly? That this is more about like how to spec out your character, like you said, like a flask for this,
Right.
Whatever.
Not all of NFTs.
But
I
that is
understand.
that is what Ubisoft is doing, yes.
But to be fair, I'm not that guy. I don't care what my character looks like when I'm playing a game. I am not a character creator. If I can skip that and just do a randomization and keep clicking the randomization button until I get one that looks decent, that doesn't have like purple heads and you know what I mean? Just as long as it looks like a normal human being, I don't care. Especially like, remember how much detail there was in putting your character in like Skyrim and stuff like that, and you never saw your character?
Yeah.
like just insane amounts of detail. But anyway, that's besides the point. My point I'm trying to make is that I'm not the guy that cares about that kind of stuff, that me having something hanging from my character that nobody else in the world has. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I feel like people that care about story and mechanics and stuff don't care either. And man, we sound like old farts.
We are.
We definitely are. Anyway,
We really
Grant, what's your biggest news story?
Well, can't beat that. But I will say, I always pick a news story, but since release is on this list, I decided to say Metroid. In the same year, they announced and released a pretty much a universally, I would say generally, universally loved Metroid critically on the fan side and financially, and it all this year. It all happened this year, and that's actually a pretty big deal. I just had a feeling that if they did another Metroid, what was Metroid Returns, maybe they'd sneak something like that out at some point. But this one actually made Game of the Year lists, and I don't think that Samus Returns was really thought about in those terms. I mean, I think people liked it enough, but I see more people complaining about it than not.
I didn't know Mercury Steam had it in them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Lords of Shadow was a hit, but that was a long time ago now.
Yeah. So really cool to see Metroid like surprise, and it sold well, and it's got great marks, and pretty much all of my friends are happy with it. You know,
And it won a Game Award.
Yeah, and it won a Game Award.
Which, like, when they announced that for that I don't remember which category was it? Was it
Was it nominated
Action
win Best
Adventure.
Action Game? I don't remember.
It was
I think
Best
it did.
Action Adventure.
Was it?
I was shocked. That's insane.
It's hard to remember the Game Awards because of all the ads.
Yeah, right. That's a really good point. The same ads that we saw over and over and over again. Oh my god, it's like watching a show on Netflix when you don't have when you have a free account. Anyway, it is time for one of my favorite portions of the show. This is where we do our predictions for 2022. But before we get there, we've got last year's predictions, and shout out to Christina Flores from our team, who graciously went back to last year's Game of the Year episode to listen to see what our predictions were. And we'll start with Grant and see who gets the most points this year. Grant's predicted that a new Zelda will be released in 2021 and no Metroid, not a remake, a new Zelda game.
Oh, he was completely inverse.
Whiff hard, man.
Just flip flop those.
Just totally backwards. You wrote it down
really
wrong.
Funny.
No, I'm kidding.
So if you had said a new Metroid released, no Zelda, not a remake,
It would have been dead on. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of a big fat zero. But
there was 2 Zelda remakes this year.
Skyward Sword
and the handheld.
Oh yeah, I guess
yeah.
that could technically be considered a remake.
What
By the
was
way,
that? Handheld.
it's a Game and Watch.
Yeah. Right.
The Game and Watch. I actually have it hanging up at work. I'm using it as a clock. And I put Velcro on the back so I can just pull it down and play it whenever I want to. I'm such a dork. Anyway, so far Grant 0, but let's go see number 2. A full Cyberpunk Redemption. It is going to experience a small version of the No Man's Sky thing.
I will give you that point.
Nope.
Oh, people are way. I was actually gonna fight for this one. People are way happier with Cyberpunk. Than they were last year.
I will fight for him on this point because Cyberpunk is actually seeing numbers again. Scott can attest to this. Talk to Nate Lucas, our producer. He is playing it religiously now.
I'll give him a half point.
I
mean, it's on the storefronts again, I guess, with a big fat disclaimer that says "Don't play it on PlayStation 4."
Oh, well, if we're looking, I mean, PS4, yeah, if it was supposed to run great on PS4 by the end of this year, that wasn't going to happen. But
if you hadn't used the terminology full redemption, I might consider a full point. But I feel like since you threw that in there, because there's no way this was a full redemption.
No.
You're right, there is a pocket online loving it, but it's not the No Man's Sky thing where, like, you can't even mention No Man's Sky anymore without somebody going, like, it's the greatest game ever. What are you talking about?
Well, it would take years to get to that point, obviously, but
right.
Well, I will rescind and give a half a point.
I'll take half. Can I get a halfie?
I'll give him a halfie, but you can't
give him a halfie.
I'll give him because he gets the half on the PC, but all the console gamers are still effed.
What about Wait, did it ever come out for PS5?
No, it's just a PS4 version running on PS5, which is supposed to be okay, but
does still PS4 functions fine on Xbox.
Not according to the store warning.
I played.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, remember that game got delisted? Do you remember that?
Yep,
I know.
Never happens.
But it's listed again.
I understand that. Hey man, a half point seems fair to me on this one.
I'll take my halfie
and run half.
I think a half. He's probably still going to win with this half point. We're not exactly straight shooters on the predictions.
Grant's number 3 prediction from last year was that Sony will introduce a Game Pass / Netflix type thing. Games that were released day and date on Sony Game Pass, quote unquote Game Pass.
What?
Yeah, I think they announced something, but it was not day and date stuff.
Well, it's not. Yeah. It was leaked, right? So they haven't said anything yet.
Right?
Oh, they're not.
Yeah. But I mean, they did announce the one thing at one of the Sony events where they were going to offer, like, you know, you can get older games like God of War and
no, that's still all the Bloomberg article though.
No,
are you talking about the PlayStation Plus collection or whatever?
PlayStation Plus collection,
okay.
Yeah, that, which is close, but it's not a day and date kind of thing. So, Grant, I'm sorry to say, I think you're getting a half a point this year, man.
Yep, that's fine. I've done better in years past, but you know, you go bold. I don't know. It didn't seem that bold. I'll say I went bold.
I think bold is fun. You know, you got to go.
Bold is fun.
You got to swing for the fences.
That's right.
Now, Alyssa, you weren't with us when we did this episode last year, so we don't have any predictions for you, but you're going to definitely be part of this year. So I'm looking forward to hearing your predictions. But let's go on to mine. My first prediction was neither Breath of the Wild 2 or Metroid Prime 4 will release in 2021.
Well, I guess not all of us went bold.
Yeah, that wasn't very bold. It would be bold if I said it this year.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, I would still say not super bold, but yeah,
no,
it would be bolder.
Not super bold. So
Scott won by
being
by being a loser. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I feel like I should only get a half a point for that one because that was kind of a softball.
No, you got it. You
got
the point.
Yeah, you get that whole point.
I'm sure I argued against your prediction last year, being like that's way too much of a softball.
We'll have to ask Christina, but I'm sure you did.
Fine, we'll
my
give him
second prediction-
quarters of a point.
Quarters of a point. My second prediction was that either Microsoft will announce new VR. I said either. I don't know what you wrote. Microsoft will announce new VR hardware for their console.
Nope.
Nope. I really was expecting that to happen.
Me too.
I thought that would happen.
Well, I think if they could stock them, I think we'd be a difference. I don't know. Continue.
All right. My number 3, Fallout 5 is announced in 2021. No.
No, you did get a Todd Howard interview with Ryan McCaffrey where he said it's not even going to be in the works until Elder Scrolls 6 is finished. So you're about 8 years probably off before it gets announced.
So I get an 1/8 of a point.
No.
He's desperate.
All right, moving on to CB. His first prediction last year was that a new F-Zero would be announced in 2021. I think we all wanted that to happen.
Yeah, no, that's bold.
I appreciate that level of
tried.
bold.
Yeah, trying to make that happen.
That was good. He also said some form of VR coming to Xbox. That's a no. That was kind of similar to mine. And let's see. By December 15th, we will see what a new Nintendo console looks like. Not a Switch, but a new console. That was
half
bold.
a point for that.
No, you said not a Switch.
OLED.
You said not a Switch.
OLED is a Switch.
It's a
Fine.
screen even.
The new Zelda handheld console. I'll fight for it.
So CB gets a 0. Zack. Star Wars 1313 Resurrected is a new game, but not the Uncharted-esque game they showed before, but a new concept. I think we all wanted that, but that didn't happen, right?
No, I don't think
No.
so.
Yeah. Well, you were looking at me expectantly, like I was.
No. I mean, unless I really missed a news story this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I felt like we would have talked about that one.
Yeah, it's called the Book of Boba Fett, actually. I think I should get half a point.
Starfield will launch in 2021 as a timed digital-only Game Pass exclusive. Ooh.
Man.
I'm gonna give him a half a point.
No. That's 0. That's a 0 point.
It didn't launch.
It didn't launch, yeah.
Oh wait, no, hang on. I thought Game Pass exclusive is where I was going with it.
Yeah,
But
no,
then I
I
read
appreciate you
digital
looking out for
only.
me. Yeah.
Because technically
I still-
it will be a Game Pass exclusive.
I mean, I still think they'll make that one
'Cause-
Game Pass exclusive.
Because they did announce that it will be on Game Pass.
I think not printing a disc for that game would be very smart, actually.
That probably needs some clarification because no game is Game Pass exclusive, right?
It's
Well,
Microsoft first party title.
Yes, but you can still buy it without having Game Pass. Is what
That's
I mean.
why it's well. I guess that's why I thought it will. The digital only to me was specifying that it would only be on Game Pass.
Yeah.
That was a bold one, for sure. And then lastly, a new Uncharted game announced coming out of Sony San Diego, the developers of the show. We didn't get a new Uncharted game announced, did we?
No.
No, they just announced the Legacy Collection coming out of all 5 games for
Right.
PS5.
Right. Now, I feel if you had said that for, what is it, February or March or April when the movie comes out, I could maybe see one shadow dropping. No, they're going to do that. They'll do Last of Us remake coinciding with the Last of Us HBO series, right?
Right, but Naughty Dog's making that.
No, I know.
It's okay. I'm happy with 0.
All right.
I'll live.
So I'm not going to take the win on this one because I'm not going to win with a super easy prediction like that. I'm going to concede to Grant.
Yeah,
You can concede.
I think that's fair.
We could tie if you want. Right?
No.
You know.
That was I looked at that and went, what was I doing? That was obviously
You
not
gotta
gonna
fall.
happen.
You gotta fall on your sword. I think, Scott. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
totally
like
did.
some of the. I'm thinking about this now. It's sort of hard to do the predictions. Probably should be for things that are going to happen, not for things that won't happen. You know what I mean? Because I think we've done this a couple times, like the Breath of the Wild, like the game stuff not coming out. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I've
Yeah.
done that a couple times too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah,
But
I
I'm
think
going
that's
back
fair.
and looking at mine and seeing if I did. What did I do? What did I choose? Did I do?
I just did that too with Metroid and got completely
Yeah, actually,
screwed. So
I'm
guess
good
it's
with
legit.
ours.
Grant, I like
But-
this rule addendum here. That's a good one. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So no more predicting something doesn't happen. It has to be this will happen in the future. Agreed?
Sure. It's virtual shake.
Virtual handshake.
Yep.
All right. Well, moving on to our predictions for 2022, since Gran so eloquently won the 2021.
His name's Grant, not Graham.
Did I say Graham?
Yes,
I thought you
did.
said Gran.
Well, either way, you didn't say Grant.
Grant.
There you go.
Grant
it is.
so graciously won the 2021 predictions. I'm going to have to go back and listen to the episode now to hear what I said.
Well, now he's just salty that he lost. That's what.
Yeah. Right. All right, Alyssa, you did not get to do last year's prediction, so we're going to start with you this time around.
Oh,
What do you predict is going to happen in 2022?
Okay, this is more of a personal wish, but it could happen. Bayonetta 3 finally gets a release date.
Okay. So it just has to get a release date? That's it?
Yeah, it doesn't have to come out in 2021. We just finally know when it's approximately going to come out.
I think you got to swing bigger.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll give it to you, but that's got to happen, right? That's
with a side note of, if it does only get a release date, a half point.
Okay, I'll take that.
Is that
Okay.
because of the Scott Clark ease of the toss up?
Hey, I conceded.
I know.
I conceded. I gave it to Grant.
Oh yeah, see, we could be interesting like that. Be like, I'm going to throw only softballs, but I have to take decreasing points for it.
Oh man, we're just gonna change the whole rules of this whole thing every year. We're gonna start going down
There will be a controversy in 2022.
Yes, there will.
Check it out.
So Alyssa, you're gonna take
Alyssa,
that softball, but
okay.
if you get it, you only get a half a point.
Well, the rest of mine might be considered softballs,
Uh-oh.
but
All right.
I couldn't think of anything else. But
Maybe she didn't know how
I'm gonna-
bold we went. You know,
yeah, I didn't realize.
she doesn't listen to this show.
I do. I just my brain wasn't working fully.
All right, Alyssa, what's your second one?
I'm gonna say Naughty Dog announces a brand new IP, not anything related to Uncharted or Last of Us.
Okay, that's it. That's bolder.
That's bold.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a full point question there, Alyssa.
Yeah, we're all see. We got it. We got you.
And then my third one is Hideo Kojima will finally stop teasing us and give us, some clips of whatever his new project is. Just clips. He's not gonna say what it is.
I still think that's kind of bold.
Right.
So are you to clarify? It has to have gameplay in it. Is that what you're saying?
I wasn't necessarily saying that, but if we want to go bold, we'll put that.
Oh man, this could be so like I'm just calculating how we're gonna change the rules of this every year. You can have as many. You got to like classify it as either a bold or a softball, and then if it's a softball, you only get half. I don't know. It's
boy.
interesting.
Can't wait till we
But-
start getting to tenths of points.
I know, right? I know. No,
We're there.
that's hilarious. All right, so you got your three, Alyssa. We'll have to wait until next year to see how well you fared. Zach, what are your predictions for 2022?
Well, I think a new Uncharted game is going to come to us announced out of Sony San Diego.
Just gonna go with the same one.
I'm doubling down on this,
I love it.
I'll add a little and say it'll star Nate's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just
That's kind of what we were expecting after,
Yeah.
after 4, right?
but just a little extra.
Okay, I like it.
Information will leak, though no announcement will be made that Blue Point Game is in fact working on Bloodborne 2.
Ooh.
Man,
Bold
you
and
stole
spicy.
my thunder.
I like that. Wait,
Uh-oh.
you're
I have to make an
Eh.
on-the-fly change.
Yeah, Chris is going to the drawing
Hey.
board now.
Calling an
Glad-
audible.
glad you're stealing my yarn crazy prediction from earlier this year. And then last one, I don't know if this is bold, but it feels a little spicy. The year will end with Xbox console sales total beating PlayStation for the first time in several years.
Software, you
Wow.
said, or hardware?
Hardware.
Hardware.
Yeah,
Wow.
I like it.
That's real bold, man.
think so. I don't
But
know.
I could see it happening.
I mean, Xbox's best marketing tactic is just letting Sony talk. So
That's true.
it'll just inevitably happen,
And you can
And-
you can get S's. You know?
That's true.
right?
You can get
So-
Series X's. I've
Actually, yeah.
talked to like 3 or 4 people this week that finally got a console. So
Bill's picked up 2 this week.
what did?
Yeah.
Bill Gardner picked up like
Oh,
2
yeah.
this week, didn't he?
I think so. No, he picked up 2 PS5s.
He
And,
sold the,
and-
he sold the one Xbox and now he has another one.
Oh, okay. So he did sell one of them. Yeah, he's been collecting them apparently. So, all right, I like that last one, Zach. That's a real bold.
Okay, all right.
All right, CB, are you prepped and ready? Did you have a backup, or do you need some time?
You go ahead and go. I'm still thinking. I'm working my audible here.
All right, I will go ahead and go first. I'm going to make a prediction and say that we're going to get it's a year of remakes, right? I think a remake that's going to happen this year is a trilogy of Final Fantasy 13. I think we're going to get a trilogy on one. What do you call it? A SKU?
One package.
Yeah, one package of all three Final Fantasy 13s, like 13, 13-2, and 13 Lightning Returns. Is that what it's called? Or
I believe so.
It's actually Lightning Returns : Final Fantasy 13.
Okay, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think we'll see a remake of all those on one package.
See, and that feels bold because Square Enix seems to hate Final Fantasy 13.
I don't know why. Well, actually, I can't say that. I didn't play 2 or 3, but
nor did I. I would like a package.
Neither did I.
I
played 13 and I enjoyed that.
Same.
So we all love 13 so much that we were like, screw the second one.
Well, yeah. As soon as they're like, second one's gonna, ruin the ending of the first one, I was like, I'm all right though.
The first one did have a great ending, which is rare for a Final Fantasy game, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
My second one, man, I feel like this one's a little bold. Well, maybe not, but I'll see what you think.
All right.
I think Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be straight up canceled.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
How does it feel?
It's not going to be delayed. It's not going to be pushed back a couple years. They're just going to...
I might think it'll be canceled for sure.
Oh, so it's not a bold one?
No, I think that's fairly softball.
Is it really?
I mean, Michel Ancel quit.
Yeah, he did.
And that was his baby. Like
that was like the first announcement after that. Like he quit and it's dead.
I was surprised it wasn't canceled as soon as he quit. Right before his turn came up in the sexual harassment investigations, of course.
Right.
I feel like it's a kind of a there's not a reason to say it's canceled. Maybe they'll just Half-Life 3 it. I don't know.
Don't tempt me with vaporware, son.
I wonder what Skull and Bones
toss it into the void for one day, maybe.
Well, I mean, my prediction says it will be officially canceled in 2022, so I feel like that's still a full point.
Well, we'll give you full judgment next year on whether or not you get the half point or not.
All right, and I'm going to make a crazy bold prediction. Like, I almost don't want to do this one because it's so dumb. I'm going to predict that Microsoft is going to make an acquisition that they're going to acquire Activision.
Wow, that is bold.
Yeah, but with everything going on, they're gonna need somewhere else to go, and they've got the pockets. They've got deep enough pockets, and
I will say it's bold, but not far out of the realm.
No, you don't think so?
I agree.
Possible,
no, because their stock is going to be tanking.
Oh, I know, that's what I'm saying, and they're going to need something to happen,
acquisition.
and easy acquisition. So yeah, Microsoft acquires Activision is my third prediction.
See, I would have
Those are
said
my
bold
three.
would be Xbox acquires Konami.
Oh, that'd be bold. That would be dumb.
But bold choice. Still a bold choice because we all think it's dumb.
Because we all want pachinko machines instead of
Hell
video
yeah.
games.
Easy
Anyway.
achievement, son.
They gotta have
Easy
health clubs to
achievements.
put all those refrigerators in, So,
CB, you good?
Yeah. Ooh,
All right, let's hear 'em.
I am swinging for the fences this year.
All right.
love it.
All right. This is my softball prediction, but I don't think it's a half point. 2 more Game & Watches will be announced. One will be released in 2022. And of the 2 releases, one will be Metroid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Swinging for the fences. That's my softball.
But all that has to happen in order for you to get the full point.
Hence the
They
boldness.
both have to be announced.
Uh-huh.
Now, Metroid doesn't have to be released, but Metroid has to be one of the 2 announced.
Uh-huh.
And one of them has to be released next year.
Only one or at least one?
At least one of them.
At least one.
Good save.
Okay.
So,
Scott's over here writing notes.
I know, right? No, this is all for Christina because she's going to be the one listening to this next year. Like writing this stuff down for me, so.
okay. Number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Parasite Eve gets the Resident Evil 2 treatment.
Ooh.
Treatment.
I want that so bad.
That would be amazing.
Who
Wow.
doesn't?
Which game? I'm sorry.
Parasite Eve.
Oh boy, yeah, that'd be life changing.
I know.
That game's
That's-
amazing.
I told you, I'm swinging for the fences. And number 3, Chrono Trigger 2 announced.
Wow.
No.
That's- Well, I don't know. They're remaking Chrono Cross, right?
I might have.
I told you, I'm doing nothing but swinging for the fences this year.
I like it.
Apparently.
I like it a lot.
With the stipulation, if I get all 3, I demand double points.
I feel like if you get Chrono Trigger, you get 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How about that?
exactly.
If you get Chrono Trigger, that's worth 2 points.
Deal.
We'll say that. Are we okay with that, Alyssa?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. All right, cool. Grant, you are up, man.
All right, I got 3. Here comes
I hope so.
Frog Fractions 3 lands next year.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
It's happening.
I'm
Mark
just trying to
my
think
words,
of like
Christina.
the follow up.
What'd you say?
I will, if that happens, I will donate all my points to you.
Wow.
Wouldn't it be
Okay.
amazing if all this time Frog Fraction 3 has been in Cyberpunk, but it was too broken for anybody to find it?
Oh my god.
It's just like a
yes.
random arcade machine hidden.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Oh,
play Frog
man.
Fractions 2.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I feel like the story of finding it was more interesting than the idea of playing it.
Absolutely, yeah. I didn't care to go buy some other game, but I probably
Right.
should. I never did watch a video, like a walkthrough of it or anything, so I should still go do that. Go play it.
Yeah, because
So you don't know what it's about?
What, the game that is inside?
I'm confused.
I think Frog Fractions 2 he is not aware of.
Frog Fractions 2 was embedded in an entirely different video
Right.
game for sale on Steam, hidden.
Oh, okay. That I got you now. I did not know
Called-
that.
Yeah, and I can't remember.
It's something like Glitter Spark Village or something
Yes,
like
it
that.
is. It's something, yes. Glitter Mitten Grove. That's what it's called.
I think, yep, there you go.
Glitter Mitten Grove. Wow, that just, yes. And yeah, you have to buy that game, and inside that game is Frog Fractions 2,
Crazy.
which is
And
a
they didn't-
completely different thing than.
And they didn't
yeah.
announce that. They just people just happened to find it.
I imagine there were little, hints dropped to something by somebody somewhere, but it was never announced or talked about that that's where it existed. But
That's amazing.
yeah, I know. So 3's next year. Number 2, Halo Battle Royale mode will happen.
I almost put that on my list.
So
But
I'm straight up battle, whatever. I don't know what form, but some sort of
Is it-
battle royale.
I say, is it included in the Halo Infinite suite or is it a separate game?
I think it's in the suite somehow. Like it's some sort of multiplayer thing they drop, not like a separate game like they did with Call of Duty.
You made some of our Discord members very happy because I think they've been clamoring for that. At least, is it Chad that's been championing that? Or has he been against it? I can't remember.
I don't know. I can't
they've-
imagine anything more horrifying to me than a Halo Battle Royale.
It would make sense, though, if they, because
That's money, no doubt.
Yeah. Halo
Like-
Infinite and something else to download and a new place to get downloadable
It's just-
content.
The reason I love this Halo so much is because it feels like a Halo 2 or 3. Like it's just simple weapons on the map, no loadouts. It feels like an old video game.
Yeah,
So the idea of Battle Royale just bums me out.
yeah.
I don't know, a battle royale where like you still got, there's no advantage like in, Apex and stuff like that where it's, you still get to the weapons quick, but the
Right, yeah.
weapons are just still as simple.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's ways you'd have to treat it.
Yeah.
Like I don't see a bunch of chiefs flying in on a giant Halo boat
A
or
bunch of
something.
Spartan 4s or whatever.
Yeah, but who knows? But anyway, that's number 2. Number 3, a new Mario game, not a re-release. I don't mean like Mario Cricket or whatever, but like an actual playable Mario game will be out next year.
I almost
this year.
put that on my list. And I was like, no.
Yeah, why not?
Too far fetched.
It's about time.
Now, are you saying
I was-
announced or
Out.
released?
Released.
Out in 2022.
Yes.
There's no way in hell.
I mean, outside of Zelda, Nintendo's been pretty good about the short windows. Like
That was my
That's a good
thinking. I mean,
point.
like Metroid, just like January, you didn't know about it. Now it's on your, it's on people's top 10. So
Well, but to
I
be
think
fair,
they-
Nintendo didn't make that game. Much like they're not
True.
making Metroid Prime 4.
Right, but maybe they learned from Bayonetta 3 or Metroid Prime 4, the games that they're not making as well, and they're like, maybe we don't just announce games when we think they're ready. We actually announce them when they are ready.
This seems to be. I mean, I don't know. They're not only working on Animal Crossing and Zelda. You know,
Right.
It's funny because
we'll see.
I feel you, Grant, because on my Audible, my first one was listed was Square Enix and Nintendo makeup, and we get Mario RPG 2, Legend of like the 8 Tubes.
Dude, I would be all over that. That would make so much money.
I know it would, but they won't make it.
Although I don't know how that works, Zach. Maybe you understand it better because I know back when that game came out, it was not Square Enix, it was Square.
Squaresoft, yeah.
Squaresoft, yeah.
I'm sure Nintendo probably has all the rights though.
Probably,
right.
except for that one hidden boss, I guess. But it's. I mean, yeah. I'm sure you could call it that. No problem. If that was what you're concerned.
No,
about.
I just meant more about like the the assets and the ideas and stuff that came from Square Enix because Nintendo wasn't making an RPG like that back then.
I don't think I want a Super Mario RPG 2 from Square Enix.
No. I mean,
no, man.
Nintendo's good with the Paper Mario games, but
no, absolutely, yeah. Nintendo, I would love give me more Mario RPGs, but Square Enix is not the company it was in the Super Nintendo days.
I don't know, but I want it more complex than the Paper Mario. And don't get me wrong, I love the Paper Mario games, partially because of their simplicity.
I want it as weird as Super Mario RPG was.
Yeah,
because I remember we played that for the Patreon only a couple years ago, and that game is bizarre, top to bottom.
It is, but so good.
Yeah, of course.
It's just so good. All right, well, that was our predictions for I guess this year for 2021 that we made last year, and the predictions that we made for 2022. So stay tuned to next year's episode when Grant comes back and we see we listen to Grant defend his title.
I beat you all 6-0 because CB is going to give me all his points.
Or he'll take your lunch money.
That too. Slap bet. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to our 2021 Go Award categories. All right, we've come up with some of the same. I love how Grant is actually playing his theme music that we didn't just play for us. He's just like fingering the music.
It's in my brain.
To me.
That's great for audio.
That is great for audio. But we have some of the same categories from last year that we did, and we're going to kind of run through these pretty quickly, and then with some new ones that Zack came up with, and we're going to kind of just run through. The first ones are pretty simple. Best new franchise of 2021. Alyssa, what do you think is the best new franchise of the year?
I want to say Guardians of the Galaxy because I definitely want another game in the franchise, but does it count because it's already a franchise in the comic book world and the film universe?
Right. I didn't count it as such because it's a licensed game, for my list. But
there was a discussion about this last year. I'm trying to remember where it landed because it was something new last year that was based on a movie property or something that we.
If Alyssa wants it for her list, that's fine.
Yeah.
But for my own rules, I would not count it.
Yeah,
but
it's
like game franchise, it's definitely there ain't been a Guardians before,
right? I'm not mad at the selection. I just wouldn't let myself choose
it. I'm gonna give it to myself. So
okay, no, I like. There you go. Yeah.
Wow, that sounded. All right,
Scott.
Oh my. Anyway,
let's see. For me, even though it's a game I didn't finish, I'm going to say Deathloop. I think that is a...
Crickets.
No, we hear some sirens. I think Deathloop is a pretty interesting franchise. And again, I feel kind of bad making that pick because I didn't finish it, but I really liked what I played. I just did not get time to finish it because I had to give it to the person that won the drawing for that month. So I plan to go back to it at some point, but that's my pick. Grant, how about you?
I picked Valheim.
Okay.
It's not completely out, I don't think, but I spent some time with it at the beginning, and it has a different vibe than some of the other kind of survival games. It's a bit more accessible, a bit more constructive, I think, and it's really, really beautiful. Even though it's this weird, odd, sort of shiny, low poly thing, it's actually really gorgeous. And it just feels different than any other game that I've touched quite like that. And it obviously hit a nerve with people, and it should be successful when it finally, 1.0 or whatever. So that's my pick.
All right. Nice. And Zach?
Well, you skipped CB. I just wanted to make that a point before we move on.
Whatevs.
Oh, my bad.
But for me, I would say Chorus. It is, even though I haven't beaten it yet, and it's at the bottom of my personal list, but I think there's a good recipe here for great foundations here in Chorus. And
That's
cool.
the next one I want to finish after I finish Guardians. I want to go back and play that because I haven't even got the cool part of that game, apparently.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The boss fights are especially interesting, and there's just that Crimson Skies flavor to it that it has throughout. It's just, I like it a lot, and but it's a little bit like Uncharted 1 or Assassin's Creed 1, where you're like, this is great, but I can tell the next one will be better.
Okay. I like it. And CB?
So after many years, I finally get to say this. Tunic.
Because of a demo?
Yet?
I got to play it, son.
You
Man,
can't
he can't follow a single rule on this list, can he?
I know.
No, I just want to say that for a joke. Guardians of the Galaxy. I actually did write that down. Because I will agree with Alyssa, it is different. There are new settings that we never got to explore. To me, it's brand new. It's different from the MCU and the comics.
All right.
Sure. Yeah, I like restrictions. It makes it more fun for me.
That doesn't sound like Zach at all.
Well,
restrictions?
I like to be bound.
Oh. All right, we're going there. Well, CB, since I skipped
this
you...
episode?
I know, right? CB, since I skipped you, let's go ahead and let you kick things off with the next category, which is biggest surprise of 2021.
Tunic? Question mark?
No! You're going to put tunic for everything?
Yeah, every category's Tunic, man.
No, Aliens Fireteam Elite.
Okay.
I legitimately thought it was going to be an absolute dud at first, and then I saw gameplay, and I played it, I love it, and I still want to play more.
That is a great game just to play with buddies and chat and have a conversation while you're just blasting aliens.
Have you all played that?
I have.
I have not.
Played a fair amount of it.
Are you on? Do you have an Xbox? Yeah, you do, because you got one recently, didn't you?
Me?
Yeah.
That is correct.
So we could play. We could play some.
We could jam some
We have to
aliens.
play the aliens.
Yep.
The sound alone in that game is worth it.
Cool.
Yeah, the sound design is incredible.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
I haven't talked to many people that have played it. Like, I was interested, and then it showed up for free.
It's really fun.
I thought it was okay.
Well, you can shut up.
Just want to throw a different opinion in there. That's all.
I know. No, Kevin Honigford from the community, Nate, and myself were always looking for a fourth.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm hard to nail down.
I noticed I never got a text message, but all right.
Well, I didn't know. You said it was just okay.
I play okay stuff for friends I used to. About 15
Then you joined
years.
this dang podcast.
Right, and I gotta play all this new stuff.
All right, where are we at? Biggest surprise? Me. I'm up. Grant already talked about this game, but Metroid Dread. I'm calling that a surprise because I knew I was going to play it. I knew I was probably going to like it, but I did not know I was going to love that game.
It wasn't announced before this year, so that's a surprise all around.
That's right. It got announced at E3, didn't it? So yeah. That was definitely a good surprise for a game to be announced and released in the same year on a Nintendo platform.
And again, Mercury Steam, Kings of the Mediocre. Pretty impressive.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, they've kicked it up for sure.
Yeah, good for them. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of those little
great
Spanish guys over there.
Alyssa, biggest surprise of
Just trying to have
2021?
fun. Don't laugh at me, Scott. All right.
I'd say for me personally, it's Psychonauts 2, just because I never played the first one, and I just thought it was going to be, a typical platformer, and I didn't expect it to have so much depth in its story and to be so creative and beautiful and just to affect me the way it did. It was just a wonderful time. I knew I was going to play it, but I didn't know if I'd finish it, but finished it, loved it. Definitely want more Psychonauts in the future sometime, so that's definitely the biggest surprise for me.
Nice. That's a good call. If you have as long to wait from the first one to the second one, it's gonna be a while.
It will be.
But good luck on that one. Nice call. Grant?
Hot Wheels Unleashed, man.
Yeah?
It's really fun. It's got like really good Burnout style drifting and all the cars feel different and it's a nice jolt. Oh, nostalgia. It's a Hot Wheels game and it's good. That's why it's a surprise. So that's my pick.
I need to play that one. I know Sean reviewed it for us and just raves about it. I think it was on his top 5 of the year.
It's really, really good. I wish it had cross-platform play, but it does not. But if you like car games with sweet drifting, it's like it's regularly on sale, so you should be able to score it for close to $20 if you just watch for it. So
very cool. Zach?
I think in the spirit of CB breaking a little bit of the rules here, the biggest surprise for me in 2021 was the fact that I did not play more Lemnis Gate.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to play dozens and dozens and dozens of this game, and I played like 6 or 8 hours of it, and haven't really touched it since.
And then Halo happened.
Halo happened, and look, I think Lemnis Gate is one of the cleverest ideas for shooter in many years, but it's not as exciting to play against random people.
Right.
It's
a
little
tough sell.
And it takes way too long to explain to people. By the time you're, in minute 3 of trying to explain it, they've already been like, "You just want to play Halo?"
Yeah.
Like it's it's a little like chess where you kind of want to know the person. Do you want to know the mind you're up against? But so I think that's honestly my biggest surprise. I really thought I was going to be playing that game for an obscene amount of time.
I did as well. I thought that was going to be a community game night game. It's on Game Pass.
Right.
We should still try to make that. Oh,
yeah.
That's the thing is it available now where you can do like teams of 5 or something like that? Because that would be.
I don't know. We'll have to. This can still be rectified. This mistake, but as of right now, that's my biggest surprise.
All right, next category is underrated games of 2021. This is games that probably won't make our top 10 list, but deserve to be recognized. We're going to each cap ourselves at 5, and we're going to start with Grant this time. Grant, what's on your list of underrated games of the year?
Maybe this is a little recent, but I put the Gunk on here, and I put it on here because I feel like it's getting a bit panned in the reviews. It's getting knocked for being a bit more simple. And I get that I think, but it feels like a really, really pretty PS2 game to me. And it's quite easy. It's sort of a kickback game.
That was what I liked about it, was its simplicity.
Yes, I liked it too, and I think it probably helped. The idea, the value of it is I didn't pay $35 for it. It's a Game Pass thing, so it was something I can just play. It's not very long, and then you're done with it. But I really liked it. I think it was a neat experiment, and it's not going to make my list, but I wanted to mention it.
It's a Steamroll Dig Guys too. Did you know that?
Yes.
I love those games, and yeah, this game is something special, and not every game has to be super complex or difficult. It was a great game just to sit back and enjoy and not stress.
I like. I'm into games where you clean up stuff too, like Mario Sunshine, or like the best example ever in the history of gaming is Luigi's Mansion 3. Vacuuming
I might fight
up
you on that one.
Paper. Okay, well, recommend more to me. That's my thing, like vacuuming up the books and papers and everything. And this has an element of that too, so I like that a lot.
Nice. Zack.
Zwan Yuan Sword 7 is a game that's on my list that it was a little rough around the edges, but that game came out of nowhere and was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
And then I'm going to give a shout out to DC Superhero Girls Teen Power, which is not an especially great game, but I loved it quite a bit. This, basically the source material and the fact that you can play Star Sapphire in a video game, which has happened about only Lego games. So this is pretty exciting just for that. But it's definitely not a great game.
All right. Is that your last one?
That's it. Yep, that's me.
Okay. Grant, I feel like I skipped over you. Did you have more than just the one?
Oh, I just listed one. I didn't think of putting another.
Not a problem. I just want to make sure I didn't move on without asking you first.
I will instead interject and ask Zack a question. Has Squirrel Girl ever been in a game?
I think much like Star Sapphire, only in Lego format.
Yep.
Only in Lego format.
Lego Superheroes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, you're right. That's unfortunate.
Just wondering.
She was almost in a TV show played by the AT&T girl, though.
Oh.
They shot a pilot and then it didn't go to
Really?
series. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
That's
She's
true.
so good.
She would have been great. Absolutely.
The Werewolves Within new horror movie she stars in is like
Oh, yeah?
one of my favorite of last year. Oh, she's just phenomenal.
She's great in that movie.
I mean, she just kind of like radiates Squirrel Girl energy. I
Oh,
feel
absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
she'd kill it. Anyway, so there's my underrated slot. Continue.
All right. Alyssa, what do you think was underrated from this past year?
I've got 3 games to mention. First up is Doctor Who Lonely Assassins. This is an excellent Doctor Who game. If you're a fan of Doctor Who, you're going to want to play this. I would say play it on mobile because it just feels more natural, but it scared me. It kept me on my seat. I kept playing it. It's short. It's like 2.5 hours long. Great if you're a Doctor Who fan. Nightbook is an FMV game from Wales Interactive, and it is scary. I jumped several times. And you are able to make different choices and affect your ending, and you can get a good ending or a bad ending. And lastly, Dry Drowning is a visual novel that I don't know if it's on anything besides Nintendo Switch, but it's a fantastic murder mystery that, again, you can get different endings to depending on your choices.
Very nice. And CB, underrated games for you, sir.
Ooh, God, so many. Wow, I just Life is Strange True Colors.
Okay.
I put on there for me. Oh,
You
I
finished
like
that one recently, didn't you?
Yes. I absolutely love that game, and I think it's a return to form of the first 2.
Okay.
Uh,
Shout out to Ryan Clements, writer of the game.
What the Dub?
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I picked that up for Christmas thinking we'd probably play it, and it didn't happen.
Dude, we played it during the stream. It was so funny. Chris has been trying to get me to play that game for forever, and I just kept putting it off, and we finally played it, and it's great.
Yep. Rain on Your Parade.
I don't know. I
little
don't remember
game.
that.
Fun little game. He plays cloud, rain on people's days. It's just a fun little cartoony game.
Right up CB's alley.
Yeah.
Yep. And then lastly, well, I got 2 quick ones. Well, that's 5. That's 5,
That's
sir.
fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
I've been
Sure.
keeping count down here. I don't trust CB.
Subnautica Below Zero.
Oh, okay.
Was that last year?
So- it came to console. Technically,
yeah.
it came out like the year
Sure.
before to PC. And then Scott Pilgrim versus the World Complete Edition.
Oh,
What? Why does it count? Why does it? Isn't this underrated games?
Well,
No, I
technically,
mean-
Scott Pilgrim versus the World did come out, but this is Complete Edition, so there's additional
Yeah.
stuff.
This doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems fine.
all right.
I wouldn't care if you put a game from 7 years ago on this list. This is a fun. This is
All
a
right.
fun category.
All right, I guess I'm the last one here for underrated games. I'm going to say Bowser's Fury. I will not make it on my list.
Fascinating. Wow.
But, I thought that was a great
No,
game,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's on my list and not on yours.
that Bowser's Fury?
Yeah,
You're surprised it's on your list but not mine?
I am surprised it made my top 10, but did not make your top 10.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it did not make my top 10. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you were
Spoiler
saying.
alert.
Well, I don't.
Well, I
think-
mean-
we don't say our whole list on this episode anyway.
That's true.
You have to go to thegamingoutsider.com for that.
I'm going to say Loop Hero, which I don't know if I think I'm the only one that played that outside of Grant, apparently, who's nodding. What a clever way to do a roguelike.
Yep.
That is really, really solid, but it would not make my top 10. Space Otter Charlie. Do you remember when I talked about that game?
I remember.
What a great little game that just made me happy. It's like a Metroidvania that's not difficult and just makes you smile, and it's goofy. I love that game.
I love that you played that. I did the arrangement of the theme song for their trailer. They wanted like an 80s Lizzie Borden style rock version of their music for the trailer, and I did that. That's just
wow,
funny.
really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you play the game?
I did. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I didn't realize you played it.
adorable.
So
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
love
super fun.
that
It's super
game.
fun.
I rated that one very. It was one of those games that came at the perfect time in my life. Like I just needed a reprieve, and that was just the perfect little game. I really like that one. Lawn Mowing Simulator.
God,
And I know
how
you
did
guys are
know that was
laughing
gonna
at me.
Show up.
It's not on my top 10 list, CB, but it's one that would not make my top 10, but I seriously think it's underrated, and people that have played it, based on recommendation, have contacted me and said, dude, you were right. This game is so relaxing and addicting. It's on freaking Game Pass, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
Go try it and tell me that it's not addicting. It's really good. And lastly, Super Magbot, which was that Super Meat Boy-esque game where you're playing by either attracting or repelling magnets. Was really, really good. Very, very difficult. Holy cow, is it difficult, but it was very, very satisfying. All right. Next category, most disappointing game of 2021. Zach, you are first up, sir.
12 minutes.
Yeah, we knew that was
We
happening.
knew it.
Yeah, that's
Is it
lowest
sad
score
that I was
ever.
almost going to call that one?
This went from my most anticipated game of 2021 to one of the worst games I've ever played. This game sucks so much. You can hear why on several episodes throughout the year or my review, but this game sucked.
Didn't we do a Patreon episode just so that you could curse out that game?
Yeah,
Yes,
pretty much.
we did.
It felt a little cathartic, perhaps a little mean, but I mean, this game is it's so obtuse, and there's a lot of time loop games, especially recently, and this game does not know how to make one.
It felt like they had some good ideas,
Great premise.
and they went for shock factor
Yeah, I mean,
not the best way, without a payoff.
I was gonna say, not even bringing the twist into this, but even the twist, they did nothing with it.
Right. Yeah. Not surprised by that response whatsoever. CB, what was your most disappointing game?
Well, Zach just stole mine,
Okay.
so I had
Here
to
we go.
back up.
That's 2 for 12 minutes. Just wanna put
Zach
that on
stole
record.
mine too, so
3 for
Oh,
12 minutes.
wow.
and I don't even have another one in my. I could probably come up with something, but
I think
Oh.
it's okay to just say 12 minutes, or we're also everybody
12
on the
minutes
mic.
is my worst, but I did
Yeah.
have a backup in case, which was D&D Dark Alliance.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I forgot about that game.
So did the rest of humanity.
Oh, man, I played like an hour of that game, and I couldn't believe how dull it
Didn't
was.
Amanda ask a question about that on our Facebook page
Yep,
earlier
and I
this
forgot.
week? And
You
we
mean
were all
Amanda
like,
Singh, co-host of the Hollywood Outsider?
yes. And she's like, because it was on sale for $20, and she was considering getting it so she could play co-op with her boyfriend, but she wanted to know if it was local co-op or not. And we're all like, you may want to read a review before you go ahead and purchase that game.
You may want to play anything else. Just
so
play
hopefully
D&D.
Probably a better experience. Alyssa, did you have a disappointing game of the year?
I did, and that was Kataria Fables. I was expecting a cute cat RPG. It was a cat grind fest.
bummer.
All you did during the entire game is grind to make new weapons and new armor, and then you would eventually fight a boss that was extremely tough, and then you go back to grinding. That was all it was
The
grinding.
Cat PG.
Cat PG. Nice. Yeah, I remember you being disappointed because you saw the trailer and said this looks adorable, and then it was just
It did, and
Yeah.
then I was like, it's just grinding all the time.
yeah. For me, this might be controversial for some people, but I was really. It's not a terrible game. It's built very well, but I just felt no compulsion to keep playing it. And that's Fuser from Harmonix. I don't know if anybody else but me played it. I wanted to love that game so much, and I just felt no desire to push me forward.
I actually
don't know.
forgot that came out this year.
Yeah, it was towards the beginning of the year, so I didn't hate 12 minutes nearly as much as you guys did, but it would definitely not make anywhere near my top of anything. So, all right, let's see. Any games that you regret not checking out in 2021? CB, you are first, sir.
Everything on PlayStation. I can legitimately say my PS5 was turned on twice this year.
Oh my goodness.
It is.
Was it Ratchet and Clank would have been the only reason to turn it on, right?
I didn't even play it on mine,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like Returnal, Deathloop.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Returnal.
I completely forgot to turn on my PS5 this year.
You forgot.
Sweet.
Returnal was on my list as well, because partially, wasn't that a $70 price tag game when it released?
Yes.
It was.
Controversially.
Yeah, and it keeps dropping in price, like $40 or something, and I'm still like, I kind of want to try it, but I don't know if I want to like commit to it for $45. So I worry that game is going to frustrate me. So I'm with you on that one. Was that all that was on your list? PlayStation?
Yeah,
It's a pretty broad answer.
It's just sad the fact that I legitimately did the math on this today, and I played my Switch 500 times more than my PlayStation this year.
That's hilarious.
CB's regret of 2021 was the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I will go with this as well.
I also had on my list Life is Strange: True Colors. After Alyssa's review, I was very intrigued by it, and then after CB talked about it and said that it's got this crazy ending, I feel like it's one I need to finish before really diving into 2022. But how long is it? Is it like 5 or 6?
I believe it took me 13, 14 hours.
12, 15-hour game.
Oh, wow. That was longer than I was expecting. I'm used to those games being like 2-hour episodes.
5 episodes.
Right, but they used to be $30 or whatever, not 60.
That's true. That's true. And then the last one is Guilty Gear Survive. I'm not much of a fighting game fan, but a friend of mine that just raves about this game says that it's a very accessible fighting game, and all the characters are musicians that play metal music. And it just looks awesome. And he's shown me some of the music. I'm not even familiar with Guilty Gear as a franchise, and I've actually gone through and listened to some of the music, and it's pretty outstanding stuff.
Guilty Gear music is rocking. It always has been. It's so good.
So that was and I like the idea of an accessible fighting game, because a lot of those fighting games, when you look at some of the combos, you're like, how am I ever going to do this? But Grant, what games do you regret not checking out this year?
I just put Guardians. There's probably more, but I was just doing singles on this list. But so Guardians, I have it, but I just haven't put any time into it, and so that's going to be the big one for this year.
You're in for a treat.
Year. I know that's what I hear.
You can also say what the dub.
I know. Oh, that's yes. What the dub? Wait, there was one more. I can't remember. I bought like a bundle of stuff around for Christmas that we didn't end up getting to.
I know you answered us this on text, but Kevin's going to want to hear what you thought of Very, Very Valet.
Oh, super fun. I'm glad I didn't pay $30 for it. I'm glad I paid like $15 or whatever, or $12. But we had a blast with that, and we love RC cars. Okay. We've always loved that, and so it was quick to change the controls to like traditional RC car controls to tank controls essentially.
Sure.
And it was super fun. So we played with my brother over Christmas. We had a good time with that. All
right, and Zack.
Oh, Returnal is probably the only PS5 game that I wish I could play. But it's more of like a curiosity.
Yeah, same here.
But I think Metroid Dread is probably my biggest regret that I did not play, because I'm pretty sure I would love that to death. And then Life is Strange eluded me only really because I'm one of the 4 people in the world that likes episodic releases.
Mm-hmm.
And it coming out all at once kind of, I don't know, it decentivized me to check it out.
Yeah, so, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I think it's broken up episodically.
It is. You can stop after each episode if you wish.
So that's exciting. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. I liked the structure of Telltale and Life is Strange, where I could pay $5 or $10 an episode and then wait till the next one came out.
As long as they didn't wait too long. And there were some of those where it was like months later, and you had to like forgot what the episode was because they're so short.
I think it was The Wolf Among Us episodes 1 and 2. 1 and 2 was like an 8-month wait.
It's crazy.
And
they're still talking about Wolf Among Us 2.
Right, yeah, I got no faith in that.
Yeah. Let's see. Any others?
No.
I want to put Hitman 3. That's my other one. We'll stick that on there too. I really should have played.
Oh,
Hitman
yeah,
last year.
I'm gonna steal Grant Hitman 3 on that.
We'll have to do that this year.
Because there's supposed to be like a murder mystery mansion level. It's supposed to be just out of control.
Yep. I heard it was like Knives Out, the video game.
I mean, I've heard of people putting a dozen hours into that level.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's just so much to do. Did Alyssa go on this one?
I did not get to go.
Yeah. Go.
I just have 2. First off is Lost Judgment, because I adored Judgment, but I have Lost Judgment. I just haven't played any of it because it's probably 60 to 80 hours long. And Halo Infinite, I wanted to get to it so bad in 2021. and I didn't get to it. And I'm like, no, and I hear you guys gushing about it, and it makes me have so much FOMO.
Mm.
So those are my two.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Good thing is it's still there. And you've
It is
still
on
got
Game Pass.
Game Pass. Yep.
It'll keep being
exactly.
there for an infinite amount of time.
Oh my goodness. There it is.
So many candy cane skins
Yeah,
going forward.
Well, she's not going to be able to get those. I'm sorry, you missed your window, but
No, but she
Yeah.
can get cat ears on her Master Chief.
that's true. Not our Master Chief, on our Spartan, please.
On her Spartan, sorry.
Come on. Master Chief stranded on the Zayla Halo, obviously.
Yeah, my bad. All right, best narrative of 2021. Can I say it even though I didn't finish it? If I didn't finish it, can I still
Yeah.
call it the best narrative?
Definitely.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not going to be alone here, but Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
Uh,
You're not alone.
from what I've seen so far, is just I haven't been this kind of invested in a story where like I'm legitimately wanting to push forward to see what happens, and I get annoyed that I have to do a battle. As fun as the combat is, I just want to see what happens with the story and hear the dialogue that happens between these characters.
I love that even though they never stop talking, it never gets old.
Yeah.
Just make sure to shut the fridge.
Oh, wait, yeah, come on. Shut
Every
the
time I see it, I shut the fridge.
I did too. My OCD is like, you have to close that fridge door.
damn-
I
Absolutely.
keep expecting like an achievement to pop up or something that says you finally closed the fridge for the last time or something.
I'll keep
but-
closing it.
Yeah. And then like somebody even says something like, "We
I
like
think Rocket says something, yeah. I think
keep
they all
closing
do
that
eventually.
fridge."
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gamora said something to me. Like, she's like, are you closing that fridge door again?
Yeah.
Well, as you'll learn on our spoilercast, CB or I had quite a different relationship with the Rocket than CB did. So I wonder how that plays into things. He and I were not friends, which is exciting.
He
Oh.
wasn't my friend really either.
Yeah. Well, I dug into the animosity.
You guys are talking about CB, right? Not
Yeah.
no Rocket.
He is the Rocket Raccoon of this show, that's for sure.
That is true.
Well, Grant, I know you didn't play it, so you're not going to have the same answer as me. What was your favorite narrative?
Inscription.
Oh man, I want to
So
get,
I
that, get that on console, man. Come on.
well, first of all, I thought because it's a card game, I thought I'd want to play it on PC, so I did, and didn't really enjoy the card game part of it. So I put it away, and I watched like an hour and a half sort of walkthrough of the entire experience of Inscription. You guys probably know enough to know that there's more to that game than just the card game that you see when you first boot it up.
Right.
All the way into the well-documented ARG that follows, and I went through the entire thing. And I know I didn't play it. I played some of it, played as much. I'm glad I stopped. I will say that. Like, I don't think I would have enjoyed it more if I'd kept going. It's
Oh,
just not my
interesting.
kind of game. But holy crap. Just unbelievable story and meta story and everything else just blew me away. So that's my pick.
It's
for
the
narrative.
Doki Doki Literature Club of card games.
I mean, you could, in terms of the surprise element being there, yeah, Doki's specifically kind of there's a reason they put a warning up when you boot that game.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, it also gets like meta, right?
It does.
Loki, yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
I want to play that game, man.
Yeah, I noticed this
So do I.
wasn't on any of your lists, and didn't know if that's something you guys had if it had come up in discussion or if
No
anyone
worries,
had. In the,
Well, we don't PC as much, and I'm on a Mac. I don't even know if it's on Mac.
Right? Yeah, that makes sense.
So I just kind of just assume that if it's a good PC game, I can't play it
Yep.
until
right,
I
yeah.
until I dive into the PC world at some point.
I have
which-
to mentally write off PC games or I get sad.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I actually remember championing Pony Island on this podcast like
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago or something.
Yep.
And ironically, the dude from Pony Island, made this game and it sort of
Oh.
Yeah. caught fire, which I think is kind of fun. So,
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah.
Pony
I do
Island
have
is still
a-
on my PC.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do have a Steam Deck pre-ordered. So if that happens, maybe that will be my gateway drug into PC gaming. But if I keep the pre-order, I still haven't paid for it. I got my $5 down on it. So let's see where we at. Best narrative, Zach.
Oh, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I figured. Alyssa.
I'm gonna say Life is Strange: True Colors,
Nice.
just because of how
How dare
emotional it
you.
gets. I love Guardians. I didn't want to mention it too much in my top games of the year.
I'll agree with you, Alyssa. Like, I had a hard time debating whether to go Guardians or True Colors. 'Cause
And you
that's a
landed on-
great story.
But which one are you landing on?
I'm with Guardians.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But I had a hard time. Like I was like literally back and forth on it.
Look at Square Enix knocking it out of the park.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, Guardians took that one mostly. And this is where we get into some of the new categories that Zack introduced this year. And the first one is Best Retreading of Old Ground. You want to kind of explain what you mean by that, Zack?
Well, I mean, I mostly meant this as like a remake sort of category, re-release. But I don't know. It's kind of fun to see. I don't know what you wrote in your black bracket here that you wrote in the format, you know? I don't know how you interpreted it, but that's what I meant for it, I guess.
I interpreted
Okay.
it differently, but what
Okay.
I'd like to, I would be
did I.
interested to know what
Scott
everybody
should go
says.
first then.
What?
Scott should go first then, so we can feel out this category.
And Grant also interpreted it differently, which I kind of like. Now I'm intrigued. I would love. Let's watch it evolve in real time, guys.
I mean, this is the second time I've put this game in an award category, and it's Metroid Dread. And I took it as like sequel, or because to me this was a return to form of a Metroid game. It wasn't in 3D. It wasn't a straight up remake of an original. They went back to the formula of what made Metroid great, but also expounded on it by adding some just crazy boss battles that required a ton of twitch reflex, which is something that was absent from previous Metroid games. So it's a mostly retreading with some extra flavor in there that I really liked a lot. So that's how I interpreted it.
I feel like that totally fits the name, like that jives with the name of the category.
Okay, well you said like a remake. It's not, I mean it's a sequel, right?
Right. Yeah, but I get what you mean. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay,
Those bosses are so good in that game.
they are.
That's what I've heard.
They are really good.
One day I'll find out.
All right, well, let's go. Just to keep track of this, Alyssa, why don't you go up next?
I'm going to say Mass Effect Legendary Edition because I love the series and just having all the DLC with the 3 games, spruced up graphics, especially on Mass Effect 1. It was just such a treat to dive back into that world after so long.
All right, cool. And CB?
Doki Doki Literature Club Plus.
No, the extra stuff in that I've not experienced. It is worth it?
I think it is.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a bunch of. It's like how the girls met and all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like good stuff.
But the gameplay is exactly the same kind of stuff, like mostly text and dialogue trees and stuff
The
like
main game is pretty much the same. It's just some like cleaned up animations, stuff like that. But the plus part throws you for a loop.
I mean, if nothing else, the physical version came with a letter from Monica.
that. Right.
That was great.
I like it. Zach?
This is a perfect category for me to use Near Replicant. Version 1.22.
I was wondering when that was going to come up.
That's why you made this category.
Yeah, perfect. Because, when I was making my Game of the Year list and the categories and everything, it was just kind of not very fun to have Near there for me. Like, this made it way more of a fun situation. Because otherwise, it would just win everything, you know what I'm saying? So, I had to do what I had to do. So, yeah, that would be Best Return of Old Ground. It has the new ending and the touched up combat, and it's got removed content from the original release plugged back in. It's good stuff. The only thing missing is Papa Nier, of course.
Right. DLC, it'll come, right?
I don't think so.
No.
No, they said if it sold half of what Nier Automata did, they would do Papa Nier DLC, and it did not.
Yeah. Automata was crazy popular.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very weird.
Nier Automata is why I hate the Nier fans on like Reddit and stuff, because they're always like, this tiny little Nier Automata game, people just don't get it. What are you talking about? It sold better than Resident Evil. You're out of your mind.
Yeah. Grant, what's yours?
I went a different direction. The game I put down is called Rounds, Rounds. It's from the guys who made. You guys familiar with Totally Accurate Battle Simulator?
Yes.
Or Cluster Truck was another one those guys did.
Yes.
It's a
great
tiny
restaurant
little
here in Kansas City, Cluster Truck.
Is it really?
Yeah,
That's
there
awesome.
is. Yeah.
It's just a couch co-op jumping, shooting at each other kind of game. So I was thinking it in terms of retreading old ground gameplay wise.
Okay.
It was only it's like $4 or $5 or something. When it came out, it was free for like 2 weeks. I got it with my brother and I played it a bunch, but it's like a harkening back to like combat on the 2600 kind of stuff. It's just movement and shooting, and it's super hilarious and fun, and for PC. So that's why I put that on there because that was just
I like because I wanted these categories to be a little more fun. So getting the different interpretations is fun.
The rounds wouldn't made it anywhere else, so
right.
It gets a little love that way.
Shout out to rounds.
I like it. All right. Zach's other one is coolest new character. We're going to start with Alyssa on this one. Alyssa, who in your mind is the coolest new character of 2021?
This is really hard for me to choose, but I'm going with Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village, just because she was a different spin on the vampire trope, and she was just a really cool character in the game.
Yeah.
I almost put her.
I almost did too.
I picked something else, but I almost put her. So I'm glad someone did.
CB?
Cosmo.
Oh, Cosmo!
Is that a new? Because okay.
New to gaming.
If you're allowing them to use Guardians for franchise, you gotta.
Yeah,
I guess this counts too. Again, I didn't count it for mine.
Man, so good. I can't wait for you to play that game, Grant, so that I can tell you the line that I'm talking about. Because
if he didn't have FOMO before about it.
I know, right? I know.
I'm here. I've been here. I'm like ready to go. So,
all right, Zach.
I'm gonna go with the weapon from Halo.
Oh, that's a good call. I'm mad I didn't think of that first.
Her evolution. Did you beat the campaign, Scott? Yeah, you did, right?
Yeah.
Just the evolution of her arc and just the snapping alone. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Just the look on her face. Expectant.
It's not a companion I ever would have expected or wanted for Master Chief, and that's why they're cleverer than I am over at 343, because she is the perfect analog to Master Chief.
Yes, I will agree. And I wish I could change my answer, but I'm going to stick with my low-hanging fruit and say Anton Castillo from Far Cry 6, because when I play that game, as much as I love the gameplay, I am angry when I am not somehow interacting with that character, because he's just so freaking cool.
This dude from Breaking Bad, right?
Yes.
And he's just so good in everything he's in.
Giancarlo.
I'm not surprised.
He's really great. Vicious, just ruthless villain. I mean, that's what Far Cry is known for, is just like these heartless a-holes. But he just brings that same gravitas. I mean, it's funny that we talk about Chris Pratt and how like he just plays Star-Lord and everything he does after that. I feel like Giancarlo Esposito plays Gus in everything that he does, but it never gets old.
Yeah, that is kind of the difference.
That's true.
He puts just enough of a spin.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, his Mandalorian character, Gus, this guy, even that executive he plays in The Boys, it is always just the same guy. Mm-hmm. And yet, you're right, we don't care.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Zach's award that did I skip somebody?
Oh, I have to do my
I skipped
character.
You, didn't I?
We have to skip everyone at least once. So next time we're skipping you, Scott.
Okay, cool.
Mine's Leshy from Inscription. So in Leshy, if you've seen trailers, those eyes on the other side of the that's Leshy. Oh, and I will say that it goes from that to being one of the most touching endings I've ever experienced in a game before involving Leshy. So I'm
intrigued.
Yeah. He's a pig. I looked up Leshy. I was trying to remind myself how to find his name. And Leshy is a forest deity in pagan Slavic mythology. So they didn't pull that name out of nowhere. Anyway, that's my answer.
Nice. All right. I apologize. I missed the rotation up on that time. But next category is, let's see, normally I totally wouldn't be into this award. This was another one from Zach. Zach, you want to explain what you mean by this one? Or is this just open for interpretation straight up?
Well, yeah, you can keep the fun open interpretations, but for me, I meant, like a genre, like Hades, right? Last year, right? It was a roguelike that normally I wouldn't care about that game at all, but there was something about Hades that, made me care about a roguelike.
All right. So let's see. We started with Alyssa last time, so we'll start with CB this time.
Wow. I guess I would actually say probably Hades.
I thought you were going to say PS5.
Well, it just sits there.
He's not.
I mean, I could say Toki.
Toki?
The arcade cabinet.
Arcade cabinet?
I keep playing it, man. It's not
awful.
good, but I keep playing it.
I believe it. I do believe it. All right. Is that really your answer?
No, it's Hades.
Hades? Didn't that come out last year?
Came out
Did
PlayStation Xbox this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Zach?
Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Saw that one coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Fair
just,
point.
the free-to-play nature of it is kind of annoying, but otherwise, it's a pretty clean multiplayer offering.
Nice. Grant?
Loop Hero. I'm not really, it's a similar kind of thing. I'm not really much of a roguelike dude post Rogue Legacy. But Loop Hero got me in. I was, even though there's a lot of watching going on in that game, I still kind of got stuck to it. So I wish it was on Switch.
I think it's coming to Switch.
I think it's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah. The crazy thing about that is just the discovery, because the game doesn't really teach you everything like straight up. You have to like kind of learn it by doing it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Which is something that's missing in a lot of games, like that experimentation. You know, like the kind of ways I wish more teachers would teach, you know, in the elementary or secondary, you know, is like, instead of just teaching at someone, give them something and let them learn on their own type of thing. That's what Loop Hero does, and it's really great. Mine, normally I totally wouldn't be into, is the game Hoa. Do you guys remember me talking about that one a few weeks ago, or
I do.
a few months ago? HOA. It is the most simplistic of platformers, and I found it absolutely charming from beginning to end. Relatively short experience, but it fits into that Space Hatter Charlie game where it just came at the right time in my life, where I needed something uplifting, and that game was uplifting, even though the ending might not have been as uplifting. But I won't go into more detail on that. You have to play the game. Man, what a soundtrack! It's not a bumping soundtrack by any means, but just a gorgeous. I think the review that I read, or the way the press release read to me, called it a warm bubble bath for your brain. And I have not heard a more apt description of a game in a long time, and the music was part of that. So I highly recommend that one, even though it's very, very simple. There's nothing difficult about that game at all. That's one thing I'm finding as I get older, is I just don't need games to be hard. I don't need to be challenged. I don't need to be everything to be run and gun and high octane. Sometimes I just want to chill. That's what I did with that game. Alyssa, how about you?
I'm going to go back with Psychonauts 2 because I thought it was just going to be a straight up platformer, and I'm not really a fan of platformers, but it was a lot more than that, and it was just so charming.
Good answer. All right, Zach, you want to introduce your next category, and then you can kick things off. You're first to go on that one.
Best Tunes to Chill With award. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a game soundtrack you like to kick back and relax to. I'm pretty sure Scott and I are going to have the same answer, because I'm going to say the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, particularly the Star-Lord jams on there.
That's my answer as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Mine as well.
Wow.
4.
Mine is actually exclusively the Star-Lord album that is included.
Yeah, because that's the part that's original to it, right? You know.
Yes,
but it's I mean, the soundtrack overall is great, but those Star-Lord songs are bangers.
They're really good. Grant, I know you haven't played it yet, but there is a fictional band in the game that has a complete album that is included in the playlist, like on the Milano, that you can just play, and it's actually on Spotify and Apple Music and everything.
Really?
You can go listen to it. It's legit 80s cheese metal in the best way possible.
Oh, man.
Like it's really good.
I think you're going to dig it.
I'm just waiting for Grant to be like, surprised, that was me all along.
Right.
I know. Oh man, there's even a power ballad on the album, just like in true like 80s cheese metal fashion. There's like it's
like
really
a
good.
period piece album or something.
There's even I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it because
stop.
there's
Just stop.
Yeah.
It's like I should have played it, because then we all could have voted for the exact same
Possibly.
in this category.
So I'm
That's
waiting
funny.
for Grant to choose his own game, for the
All right. Yeah.
this one.
That's it. I just put unpacking.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it. But as far as kickback, I was almost thinking the gunk, but there was some repetition there and stuff I didn't like later in the game. Gunk had some pretty cool stuff, but the loops were a little obvious. But I kind of I as far as the kickback and chill tunes, I thought the unpacking music fit that category. So
I'm surprised CB hasn't attacked that one yet, because that's supposed to be like an under hour to get all the achievements game.
I don't know about that.
I can only create so much time in my bubble, man.
You can't squeeze in another hour.
It's been a busy couple weeks.
Yes. Let's see. So we got everybody, because we all said Guardians.
Right.
And the next category, which we'll start with Grant, is and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing this incorrectly. My new waifu / husbando award.
Right.
How do you do? Did you do right? Is that right, Zack?
You got it.
You got it.
I nailed it. Yeah. He's a weeaboo.
Yeah, he nailed
He's
it.
a weeaboo all the way.
All right. So, well, Grant, we'll start with you. How did you interpret this, and how did you answer?
I
This one
didn't.
feels pretty direct.
Well, does it have to be like specifically like a Japanese, like an anime or sure?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, I put Lady Dimitrescu down.
Yeah, there you go.
I had to, because like she is as classy as she is vicious, like absolutely terrifying. I feel like the I love RE8 and everything, but the first quarter of that game is that game for me, and she's a big part of that. So
Yeah, that's definitely the most memorable part of Resident Evil Village. And
I will disagree.
And she's 9'6", so you could really climb her like a tree.
yes, that's correct.
I'm going to climb that like a
Indeed.
tree later.
Fly swatters.
Hold your arm out. I'm
commence.
going to put a swing on it. You know.
Yeah.
She's got her own built-in swing.
That's a Photoshop.
Oh my
It needs to
God.
happen.
It does need to happen. Oh man, have you seen some of the mods they've done to her?
I,
No.
Fly swatter.
What?
Oh yeah, the fly swatter. You can go around and slap her with a fly swatter. And then she turns around and says her usual lines like, "Do you really think you can hide from me?" or whatever she says. And then you just go around. It's bizarre. All right, so mine's weird. I'm gonna say right ahead of time, this is weird. There's nothing sexual in nature when I say this one. All right, just gonna throw that out there. Don't worry, it's not. You're not. It's not.
Is it Cosmo?
No, it's not Cosmo. But you're pretty close. You're pretty close. Rivet from Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah.
Not any sexual.
I knew you had this in you.
No. I thought Rivet was a great character. That just her personality was, she's so positive and so looking at the bright side of everything and wanting to do what's right. And I feel like we don't get that in a whole lot of characters in general, much less female characters. I feel a lot of the female characters have to, in order for them to be considered a strong character, they have to be under dire circumstances and or be badasses or something like that. Rivet was just a great character, just a good. I can't say person, but Lombax.
Oh,
so
starting to sound a little romantic.
Sure. If I could marry any video game character from 2021,
It would be Rivet.
it would be Rivet.
All right. So like to hear.
Alyssa?
I'm gonna go with Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy because
Nice.
she's just so tough and she's my favorite teammate and she's gorgeous. So there we go.
Check.
Right. All the box.
Good, CB?
Monica.
Just Monica.
For those that know.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, those girls were high school girls, right?
No,
The
no.
game specifies they're all over 18.
They are all over 18.
Oh, yeah. After people started making stuff on them, then they had to go out and clarify.
I'm thinking more because if you know how the game ends,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you know. I have to choose Monica.
All right.
He's got no choice, man.
Go play that game. Is it still free on Steam, like the original?
No.
Oh,
Oh, is it not?
I think it's
I
just
don't
a
think
15
so.
now. I think it's just the plus version now. I could be wrong.
go play that game.
So I have just Monica.
It is free.
All right. Zach,
Yeah, my waifu is also Gamora. I like a woman that would step on me.
We can share, Zach.
Yeah, we'll be a throuple.
Oh,
I am
God.
cool with
Yeah,
that.
let's do
A
that.
thruple.
Me, Gamora, and
Wow.
Alyssa. We're gonna be flying around the Milano. See y'all cats later.
I'm gonna be dead in a mansion, just hung up.
But what a way to go out.
I know. Might fly swatter. I don't know.
What are you talking about? We'll just call you Mushroom Boy.
Oh my God.
Wow, yeah, that was a nice little reference, CB.
All right, and the last category, which again is another one from Zack, is the best, quote, well, damn, I won't be forgetting that anytime soon, unquote, award. And I think I'm first on this one. I don't feel like this one's really... is this open to interpretation or not?
I don't know.
Seems pretty straightforward.
I feel it feels straightforward, but
The moment that immediately came to my head is kind of a small one, but it was a glorious moment for me, and that is riding spiders in It Takes Two. That was the moment I sat down with Zach, and we were playing this, and I almost don't want to tell you what happens, but I remember having the conversation with Zach, like, is this really happening? This is happening. Oh my God, this is freaking fantastic. And then it lasts like 7 minutes. And I loved it.
right, which is insane. They do that. They do that over and over again.
Oh, so great. I absolutely loved that moment. And I didn't even stop and think about any others. There probably might be better moments. But considering how quickly that one came to my mind and how it just stood out, I just went ahead and wrote it down. Alyssa, how about you?
Mine is from Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't actually want to say what it is because it could be kind of a spoiler, but let's just say it's near the end and they team up. If you guys know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Right, I'm
I
pretty
think-
sure.
Because there's just such a cool moment.
Scott's not gonna know.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not where
You-
I'm at yet? You're not talking
You
about the
haven't
part
got
there? Okay.
No.
It's fun. It's always fun to talk around that.
It's like a Guardians Voltron, right? And yeah,
Thundercats.
just guessing.
Oh!
And I don't like that you nailed it right on the head, but
Could you imagine Guardians of the Galaxy and they just meet up with Voltron?
I wouldn't put
Oh,
it past
man.
him.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
There's no torso; it's just limbs. I don't know how that works. You know,
Right.
little
That's a good
sloppy.
point. Let's see. CB.
So it's been a while since I've talked about this on here. But Swarm VR.
Oh, okay.
I bought that because of your ramblings and review.
Man, I
It's a great game.
still love it.
Great game.
Just Spider-Man with guns.
I threw one of my students into my quest. I said, "Here, play Swarm." I have never even played it, so I don't even know. He was freaking out, dude.
It's intense.
I know. He's like, "Mr. Clark, I don't know what's going on."
You tortured a child. That's good to know.
So many things in my face.
So good. He's like, "Holy cow, Mr. Clark!" It was great. I wish I had been recording for that one. That would have been
At least
fantastic.
you didn't plank him.
Oh no, we did. We did
Oh.
plank a lot. Some kids, I had one kid on the edge of the plank, and I'm like, "All right, jump!" And he would squat down like he was going to jump, and when he'd go to jump, he just couldn't get his feet off the ground because he was too nervous to do it. I have that on video. I got to show that to you sometime.
I wanna
It's
see
really
that.
funny. All right, Zach.
Mine is also from It Takes Two, although it's the airplane segment where
Oh yeah, where it turns into that kind
Where-
of game.
yeah, I guess I don't want to spoil it, but there's an airplane section where Scott was piloting and I was on top of the wings with another character having a bit of a brawl, and it was insane. And the fact that they went to those lengths for about 5 minutes of content is outrageous. But here I am talking about it at the end of the year. I mean it Takes Two is full of moments like that though.
That's interesting that we both had a moment from that game.
Well, so
But they're
we
completely different
we
ones.
just really like each other.
I know. And here's the cool thing is like, if we went back and played through that game again and switched it,
Mhm.
it would be a completely different experience.
Right,
Because
I would have to be piloting a plane, which I did not do in the entirety of the game.
right. And that's the thing is like every puzzle, everything that you do in that game, You're not. It's not like a co-op game where like, okay, I'm going to go do this and you go do this, and you could just, in theory, just switch them up. It never happens that way. Your character has to be the one to do that, and the other character has to be the one to do that.
You could say it requires collaboration.
Collaboration. Man, have you played that, Grant?
It's that book, isn't it?
It is
Oh,
the
It
book.
is the book.
I need to find someone to play it with. I watched a little bit of it and got so turned off by the acting and the book. It was really hard to stomach.
The book is over the top, but he starts in the game a lot, and then he kind of goes away though.
I want to play the game. That's what I want to do. Like I want to play the game part. So
Don't let the book dissuade you.
Okay.
I will play it with you, Grant, because I still have yet to play it.
Oh, it's on
I haven't
your
yet to play it either.
list of shame.
So
Yes, it is on my list of shame for the year.
But you should know the darkness ought to persuade you, because that game gets bleak occasionally.
Oh, holy crap! It does.
Yeah.
Like uncomfortably bleak. One particular moment, I forgot about that moment. Holy crap! Alyssa, have you played it?
I have not.
I want to watch.
I need someone to play it with.
I want to watch Alyssa play that game for that one moment.
All
I will play with either one of you.
Me, Alyssa, and Gomorrah will play it later.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
And the cool thing is, do you own it, Grant?
It's on Game Pass
Oh, that's right. I forgot it's on Game Pass.
now.
So I was going to say if it's not on Game Pass, only one person has to own it.
Right. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. All right, Grant, you were the last one for this last rando award.
Holy moly! I'll just say the end of the end of Inscription, the last game you play in Inscription, is what I'll say, and it means
I need to play
nothing.
this game,
but that's absolutely just the best for me. That's mine.
I gotta play Inscription, man.
Apparently, that's like the third or fourth time he's mentioned it in these awards.
Yeah, I did mention it more than I'd planned. I tried to do a lot of different stuff, but yeah, Zack added these categories, so it made a second. It showed up again.
And I added the categories, and Scott didn't warn you about the categories. So.
There you go. There you go. But no, that's it
fault.
though. That would be it anyway. So
all right. Well, that was our random awards before we got to our personal favorites. And speaking of, let's go ahead and jump now into our personal favorite games of the year. We're doing our game of the year similar to how we've done it in all past years. We have all given our list to Grant, including people from the rest of the team, of our top 10 games of the year. And Grant's going to be revealing the overall Gaming Outsider Game of the Year based on our votes. But we're going to discuss our top 10 list in an interesting way. Grant has provided a list for us of all the games that showed up on at least one of our top 10 lists. We're going to go through that list in alphabetical order. And those of us who had each game on the list will discuss why they placed it on their list and where they did. This is a massive list. I feel like I don't know if we can do that. I think we should just have Grant read the list. Yes?
Yeah. I don't know. Or just discuss where we are. Hey, as we've learned recently, people seem to like longer episodes. But...
Okay. All right.
I will say there are games on here you've already talked about a lot, and there's some that definitely showed up on one list. So, feel free to just kind of,
all right.
give me. I'll just read through it, but I can stop if you guys want to say something about one of these.
I feel like if I may just say real quick, it could, because it was a year where there weren't really those games where it was like everybody stop and take notice.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's why it seems more varied than past years, because there wasn't those handful of games where the whole industry came together essentially,
like a Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, or Last of Us Part 2, or Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like there plenty of great games this year. It's just there was none of those. Oh man, is the industry changing before our eyes? Sort of deals.
Yeah, I mean it's a COVID year too, and there's just so many games. Right? I think there's just...
Well, I will say, I was going to do stats later, but I will say this. Last year, you had 25 games on the list. This year, you have 27. So two more made it on. It's not that much longer.
Interesting.
One game made it onto all four lists last year, and one game made it onto all four lists this year.
Look at you. Look at the back stats.
And also, I will say that and then I'll give one more stat when I'm done when we give the awards.
Oh, I like the comparison stats.
But it's interesting to think about, because you guys make great points about how you feel about the year. But then if you look at the list,
that's very interesting.
Some that you're all going to pick and some that only one of you would pick, stuff like that. So this is alphabetical order.
Yep.
I didn't accidentally start with the number 1, and then I was like, oh, I need to resort. Anyway.
Oh man, Fireteam Elite.
Can we
underdog.
Can we guess the randos?
What do you mean by the randos?
Oh, I wonder whose list that's on.
Oh, that happens anyway.
Yeah.
So yes.
That'll just come up. Yeah.
Yeah, number 1 is Aliens Fireteam.
Chris
Geo
is.
Wonder. Astalon, Tears of the Earth.
Gee, I wonder.
That's definitely.
I know that game only appeared on my list. I have to imagine nobody else put that on their top 10.
No, I put a decent amount of time into Astalon, but yeah, it didn't crack the top 10 for me.
No,
Before Your Eyes.
that's an Alyssa game. I remember that
Yeah,
one. That's the one that like
Yeah, it was me.
measures you blinking, right? Or it sees you blinking.
Yeah. Well, you use your eyes, and to progress the game, you blink.
Oh, I remember hearing about this last week on a different pod, and I was really curious about it. Do you actually need to buy eye tracking stuff for it?
You can just use your typical webcam. You don't even have to use the eye tracker, to be honest, but I think that's kind of defeating the purpose of the game if you don't use it.
Interesting.
But just a regular webcam works.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah, but
Chorus.
Guitar Hero with the controller. Chorus am I the only one with that on my list? I presume.
It was not on my list only because
It was not.
I just felt like I did not put enough time into it.
CB. No.
No.
Okay, I guess it's just me.
All these
close.
onesies and twosies in the ABCs here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at this. Dark Knights with Poe and Monroe.
I know for a fact Alyssa's the only one that played that game.
I
I was about to say
Yeah.
only because I didn't get around to it.
Yeah. It's on. You can add that to my regrets.
Far Cry 6.
I figure that's on 2 of our lists. Me and CB.
Yeah.
Boo.
Forza Horizon 5.
That's on CB's for sure.
Oh.
It was on mine as well.
Oh,
Oh.
was it? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You did love that. Didn't you?
Halo Infinite. Ever heard of it?
That's on 3 of our lists.
Yeah, 3 lists.
I assume so. Yeah. I
Haven.
think it might be in very
Oops, sorry.
different places on our list.
Likely.
Haven is a Zack
Haven?
game.
Haven. Yeah, loved it. That game came out in January, I think.
It Takes Two.
2 lists.
Yeah,
Me and Zach.
the 2 people that played it.
Yeah.
It took 2 of us to beat it.
And it's the truth. Absolute truth. You can't play that solo, right?
No, you can't.
Correct.
Nope.
Yeah.
And even when you play online, it's split screen, which is cool.
Oh, interesting. Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I really want to play this.
That's
One
Zach's,
list.
and I'm shocked it made his top 10. I didn't think
Dude,
he
that,
liked it.
that game starts off.
You're wrong.
That game starts off. Oh, Alyssa, nice.
It was on mine too.
I
Oh,
think
okay.
that game starts incredibly poorly, but it does get better. It's a lot better.
Oh.
Interesting.
Nice.
Lake is on here.
Only on
Yep,
Zach's.
I think that's,
Zach's.
that game is amazing, and if you guys need something to chill out with, that is a game to play. I think it's coming to Game Pass shortly. So
It's on now. I looked at it a couple days ago because you
I
mentioned
downloaded
it.
it yesterday.
Well, I paid full price and didn't regret a moment.
Nice.
Hmm.
Lemnis Gate.
2 lists.
So me and Zach put that on. I know CB did not put that game on his top 10.
No, I'm almost amazed it made Scott's list
Really?
based on how little you played it. Yeah,
I that's fair, but it's
No, yeah,
it's deserved.
It's such a concept.
Life is Strange. True Colors.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that's on Alyssa and CB's.
Yeah,
Lost Words Beyond the Page.
That's a Zach game.
Zach.
that's me. Shout out to Rihanna Pratchett.
Game of the Year Mario Party Superstars is on this list.
That's
Wow.
on CB's. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
it's not-
surprised that one's on yours.
Same.
That's a number 10, right? That's got to be a number 10.
I guess we'll find out.
He's
Well, I
just
guess I'll
smiling
have
at
to-
me.
I'll have to
Yeah,
tell
you
you.
know as well.
I'm not going to tell you where they are because you'd be surprised.
The proper title of this next game: Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
I contend with that. Scott refused. We can't give Marvel that power, guys. Just call it Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what I call it. It's just written
Yeah.
here like that.
I know.
I'm
Grant
gonna
understands.
assume that's on all 4 of our lists.
I would assume that's the game that made it to all 4. Yes.
Yeah.
Especially based on the recent categories.
Yeah.
Metroid Dread.
One
just-
list.
I think I'm the only one that played
Yeah,
it
I think you just Scott. Yeah.
outside of
Yeah.
Grand.
Damn. Microsoft Flight Simulator.
That's
Okay.
just CB.
CB.
Yeah, CB.
Gosh, I gotta try that.
It's so good.
Yeah, I need to do that. I need to make that happen. MLB The Show 21.
That's just
Woo,
CB.
woo.
CB.
Psychonauts 2.
Alyssa.
Alyssa for sure.
Yeah, that was me.
Ratchet and Clank,
Scott.
Rift Apart.
I was on my list. Again, I'm
That
only
was
one of-
on mine too.
Oh, you did play it. Okay, so there's
Yeah.
2 for that one.
Resident Evil Village.
I'll own it. It's on my top 10.
It's on mine.
I don't
It's
care. I
on
liked
mine.
it.
It's not on
Oh.
mine.
I knew it wouldn't be on
I'm
Zack's.
the dissenter, I guess.
Yeah.
Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town.
I wonder whose that one is.
I have no idea.
I think
Yeah.
that's the most syllables that's ever been in a game.
It's a lot.
Oh, that is definitely not.
No.
Until
You
the
forgot
next.
You forgot the subtitle while drinking your juice in the hood.
No, there's a PS4 game that has I think it's like 85 syllables is the title. It's stupidly long.
I don't know.
This one's actually pretty long too. Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury. That's on
Oh, we
here.
already know that's on Zack's.
Right. Great game.
Yeah, it is a great game.
Dugunk.
Scott.
Yeah,
Did I put that on mine?
Must have been
And
on
the-
somebody's list.
And the final game is Where the Heart Leads.
That's
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
That is me.
Yeah.
That's it. All 27.
All right, now the question is, where did they get put?
Oh, do you guys want to play any predictions games or anything, or do you just want me to start at 5 and go down?
Pretty sure I know what number 1 is.
Yeah, I'm going to guess Guardians will be number 1, but
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping, I want Halo to crack the top 5, but we'll see.
I think it will.
Gotcha. All right. Well, number
Yeah.
5, appropriately number 5, Forza Horizon 5.
Oh,
Okay.
Cracked the
see?
top 5. I'm very
only-
happy about that. I just want to
With
say.
only 2 people voting for it.
Right, must
Right?
have been high.
Must have been
Yeah.
high.
All right. That's
Fascinating.
interesting.
Yeah, that is quite interesting.
Also, cracked the top 10. One of Zach's favorites, Resident Evil Village, made the list.
Number
Uh-huh.
4?
Number 4.
I'm surprised that got that high. Wow.
I know. It got 0 points for me, and it got to number 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 3, It Takes Two.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
okay.
It didn't hit number 2.
Oh,
I
that was kind of that would have been
Ah.
amazing, but no, not quite there.
I feel that game would have ranked higher if
If
Chris
I'd
and
have
Alyssa
played
had
it.
played it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we all play it, that would have had an honest shot at Game of the Year, because
Yep.
it was right at the top of my list.
Ooh.
Only 2
It was
left.
number 2
Number
for me.
2. Number 2.
Wait,
Dream.
hold on, wait. Is it Halo Infinite? Can't be Halo, right?
I don't know. It says here Crazy Taxi for number 2.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, nice.
Wait,
I love
Crazy
Crazy
Taxi
Taxi.
2?
Who's been in my documents?
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, number 2. Crack the top
Yes.
5.
That is
Nice.
surprising.
Nice.
And you guys know what number 1 is.
Yeah, that's going to, yeah,
You know, in parentheses, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
I refuse.
Game of the
Guardians
year.
Again. Wow.
There it is.
I mean,
at
it's the
least
only one that
not
got 4
Marvel-
votes.
At least it's not Marvel's : Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's
Right.
true.
I'm also not going to call it Marvel's Spider-Man, our 2018 Game of the Year.
Oh,
Yeah, so two Marvel games in my tenure at Gaming Outsider won Game of the Year.
It's true.
Oh,
So-
that's right. Spider-Man won your first year, right?
Yeah. Second
So,
year. First
so last year, the number 1 game, which do you guys remember what it was?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes, it was Ghost of Tsushima.
which I remember being quite surprised by because it was very much in the middle of my list.
It was a really interesting year because it was like a bunch of high middles
Yeah.
pushed it to number 1 for the average. So
which is interesting.
it's wild. It's more of a consensus thing, right? At that point,
Yeah,
it's like
well,
that's how the Metacritic works, not the Rotten
let's-
Tomatoes.
That's what makes our list fun is that can happen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, Ghost of Tsushima got 33 points, and this year, Guardians got 36. I think
wow.
this is the most vote. This is the highest point valued game of all your number 1s, at
Wow.
least since I've been doing the math. So
That's interesting because I feel like I like Tsushima a lot more than I liked Guardians.
Well,
Not
I-
knocking Guardians.
I like Guardians a lot more than I like Tsushima.
No, there you go.
I might second Zach on this one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna third it.
And to be fair, I still have three or four chapters to go. So
yeah.
That's
'cause
why.
the ending
Yes.
does
Yeah.
come together, and yeah, we do have the Alyssa curveball this year.
oh, that's true. We got 4
Yeah,
people
sure.
voting instead of 3.
well, you had 4 last year.
I think Spencer said
Spencer did.
Spencer Cushing, yeah,
Yeah, he didn't send one in this year.
No.
not in time.
Okay. All
No.
right.
So just so you know, Scott, last year your Ghost of Tsushima was number 4,
Uh-huh.
and this year Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was number 5. So
Okay.
right there.
Interesting.
right there. And then number 1 on everyone else's list.
Is Guardians?
Yeah, it's Guardians.
All 3 of us?
Yep.
Guys, I love you.
Wow.
I love you too, guys.
Yeah, I told you, like it's a banger.
It's that game's extraordinary. It's one of the few times where I look at my review and I'm like, I think I scored it too low.
I think we had that conversation.
We did on the spoiler cast, yeah. That should have been a 9.5 for sure, but yeah, man, that game's something special.
Oh boy. Wow.
I mean, I'm tired. I'm tired of Marvel making good games. Okay, where my DC at? You know.
Hey, a big anticipated one for me. I mean, we're getting to that later, but I think that the Suicide Squad could be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
their face tech's looking good. We'll see.
Gotham Knights also, I think. Looks really
Yep, I had a feeling you might mention that one.
I'm still surprised that number 5
Forza
for this year. Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
I love it. It's funny. Okay, so you guys emailed me your lists, and they came over the course of a week. I don't remember what the order was, but Forza was like above Halo for a little bit, and I was like, really? And then the last 2, put it in its place.
Yeah, I think I mailed in my 0 points for that.
Yeah,
tanked it. I'm honestly surprised. Like, yeah, if you told me a Halo game would have been in our top 5 any point in the last decade, I would have.
I ranked that game shockingly high. And it's one of those situations where I played the game so recently that I always worry that since I just got off of playing it and because I enjoyed it as much that I'm not comparing it to everything I played over the last 12 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was legitimately good. It was a game that I was playing through because I wasn't reviewing it, right? Zack was reviewing it. I was playing through it and powering through it just because I was enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't happen as much.
I cleared an open
days.
world map. I can't remember the last time I did that for a new game.
Yeah. I didn't do everything. Because it got really annoying to find some of the stuff, but I didn't get all the skulls or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't get the collectibles because they're kind of miserable to find.
Yeah, it's like sometimes they show up on the map, but sometimes they don't. You have to get like a certain distance from them. That's not fun.
Yeah, and sometimes they're hidden as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely got my satisfaction out of that game for sure. For sure. And yes, Astalon was my number 1.
It wasn't enough to put in the top 5, though, huh?
No. With one vote, that is for sure not going to happen. No. But yeah, I have not been...
It was number 7
Oh, was it really?
with an even 10 points.
Where?
10
so does that
points.
mean Haven was number 8 with an even 9 points?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Last year, number 7 was Undermine with a solid 10 points. I don't remember who put Scott. That was yours as
That's
well.
me
I
as
think.
well.
So yeah. Interesting. Actually, yes, the points sort of shook out similarly with the top games as it did as last year, as far as like how quickly the numbers dropped.
Uh-huh.
Almost exactly up to about number 7. But
That's it. Yeah, it's interesting to me when you run the numbers because, yeah, Haven gets 9 points just because it was number 2 on my list. You know,
I'm curious.
Makes
I want to
sense.
know what number 6 was.
well, it's
May
going
as
to
well.
cost you.
oh,
Do you want to guess based on what you know?
It can't be Metroid Dread?
I don't think Chris is going to guess.
Resident Evil Village.
No, that
That
was number
was-
4.
That was number 4.
Oh wait,
were you here?
Far Cry 6.
No, here's a hint. I know the reason I don't think you'll get it is because it's not on your list.
Ooh, spicy.
Lemnis Gate. No.
Life is Strange.
Mm-mm.
It Takes
That-
Two.
No.
Uh-oh. We don't know. We're
Wait,
out.
It Takes Two wasn't in the top 5?
Wait,
It was number 3.
Oh, so
Yeah, it was
we're-
number 3.
Where were you?
I couldn't remember.
What is happening?
No, he said
my
It Takes
brain is
Two.
my brain is like
Here's a hint, Chris.
Oh, Ratchet and Clank.
There it
Rift
is.
Apart.
Ratchet and Clank, yeah,
Oh, okay.
with 11 points.
You got to play that game. That game, just
If I
just
could, I would.
to look at
Yeah,
was insane.
yeah.
Good.
See again, a PlayStation game wouldn't have hit me in the head because I
Right.
didn't play any.
Yeah.
I don't care about graphics, so I feel like I don't really have a strong. push
No,
to
the
play it.
gameplay was stupid fun too.
Okay.
But again, I didn't play the Ratchet games growing up, so it was like it felt like a new experience to
And
me.
I just played that one last year, so it might not. Rift Apart might not hit me the same way.
Yeah, but no, I take it back. I did play that one. What was it? The reboot?
Yeah, the 2016 one.
And I played through it, and I thought it was okay. I loved Rift Apart.
Okay.
So that was fun. Let's go ahead and move on. Grant,
Ooga chaka,
you are our
ooga,
guest.
ooga.
This is one of my favorite parts. We get to just go through your top 5 games of 2021, starting with number 5. I'm intrigued.
This
Go
will be
for it.
quick. Number 5 is XO1.
I don't even know what that is.
It was it's a Game Pass game.
Okay.
EXO space ONE. It's like you're a sphere and you change gravity make it into heavy gravity to make the ball roll down the hill, and then you let off for it to like fire off the next hill. It's like a 3D version of similar games you might have played on mobile, but it's a very alien game. Really cool soundtrack. You can hit jump so high you get sort of stuck up in thunderclouds, and it's all about exploring. There is a narrative, but it's mostly about trying to traverse these weird alien worlds, and it's awesome. So that's my number 5, and it's on
Holy
Game
cow,
Pass.
You sold me. I'm going to try
Good
that
stuff.
out
That
now.
sounds pretty cool.
I'm just gonna write Bowser's Fury because 3D World's great, but I 100%ed Bowser's Fury. I loved it. I thought what they were able to make work with that engine was kind of incredible.
Mhm.
I just couldn't stop. So that's 4 for me. Resident Evil Village. Go
we
ahead.
need more open world Mario games like that too.
I
right?
feel like it's a proof of concept in a way.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It seems like the test bed for the next game.
Yeah, but like with this old engine, even they were able to do
Right.
a lot. So, and different music
Well-
for the different islands, and
But my concern is I like Bowser's Fury so much because of how contained it was.
yes,
I kind of don't want it to be much more open than that.
yeah, I liked. It was very bite sized. I could actually 100% it because it was
Right.
not, unreasonable.
Oh.
So
That game's so good.
it's a great game,
It was great.
great bonus. And Resident Evil Village, number 3 for me.
Nice.
Forza 5 for number 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
and
Wow.
Metroid Dread.
Okay.
I knew that was going to be on there.
It's just so good. It's just great. I had 100% of that too.
I did not 100% of it, but I would, because I didn't. I was on a time constraint because again I had to give that away to a listener.
Hmm.
But I wanted to go back and 100% because it seemed like you said with Bowser's Fury, it seemed attainable.
Yeah. Oh.
Where a lot of games like that, it just seems like I'm never going to get all this.
So I missed a lot of games last year too. I mean, Guardians may have been here if I had played it. I don't know, but
You were too busy making games.
yeah, that is all about the truth. For a little window there, I caught up. I'm catching up. I bought Guardians for Black Friday because it was super cheap,
Yeah.
and then it wasn't catching up with other stuff. And I wanted to actually play it with my wife because people keep talking about the story. And I started the game, and the banter is so good. I feel like it's something we might want to play together. We did that with
That's the
Star
most
Wars.
impressive.
Star Wars
Jedi
Fallen Order was a good one.
As soon as you
Sure.
finish Guardians, Grant, I want to know what you think of it.
Yeah, I'll post about it. I'll write you or something. But yeah,
Nice.
there you go.
Moving on, our next portion here is our community top 5 games of the year. I asked for votes from everybody on Facebook and Discord to tell me what their top 5 favorite games of the year were. I gave them an example list, but they could have chose literally any game they wanted to, and they did not disappoint. And I tallied up both the scores combined between Facebook and Discord, and I came up with the following list. Number 5, Guardians of the Galaxy.
How dare they
Only
betray us? How dare
Number
they?
5. I was shocked that was that low, but I think it's a situation where it's just lack of people playing it.
Yeah, well, because you wouldn't want to buy it based on that first demo or the fact that Avengers happened.
Yeah.
So I can see how you might be a little slow for a lot of people to believe it's good.
Also, it wasn't on Game Pass.
Sure.
I'm just
Yeah. No, I
It's a
know
lot
where you're
easier.
going with this.
yeah.
It's
Number
true.
4.
I mean, sorry. Yeah. Yes.
No, go
Game
ahead.
Pass.
Go ahead.
Well, just I it's the same thing. I bought it. It was on sale, but that I ordered 2 games yesterday from GameStop because there was a huge clearance thing. But other than that, the only physical game I've bought on the Xbox so far since I got it, which has been several months, is Guardians, and it's the one I haven't played. Everything else has been Game Pass stuff.
Yeah.
So it makes a difference. It makes you like hold off, like, well, I'll wait for a sale or I'll buy it, at some point. But
Or hope it comes to Game Pass.
I guess my brain's just not as Xbox centric because I don't really. If I want to play a new game, I'll just play it.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. Number 4 was Far Cry 6, which I don't remember. Where did it fall on our list? Or did it fall on our list?
it was like
Low.
low.
It's not
11 or 12-ish or something.
Interesting. Number 3 from the community was Forza Horizon 5.
Wow, that game, man. That game's coming out swinging.
And number 2 was It Takes Two. And number 1 was Halo Infinite.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that's where I was going with my comment about Game Pass, because the top 3 games from the community are all on Game Pass.
But It Takes Two is only very recently on Game Pass.
True.
We
Still
only pulled
enough.
them very recently.
Yeah.
That's true.
And technically,
It's kind of a
Halo
long...
Infinite has only been on Game Pass recently.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're right. But I mean, It Takes Two is like a 12-hour game, and it's just a Game Pass. But
Actually, so is Halo. Wait, Halo Forza's pretty recent too. A lot of that list is in the back quarter of this
Recent.
year, right?
a little bit of recency
When
bias.
was
Yeah.
Guardians? Is that back in like September, October?
I think it was October.
October, I think.
Yeah,
So
October
it's hard to
sounds
remember
correct.
when you play it so far in advance, you know.
Oh my God.
But it's scary to think that just the power of Game Pass literally just stole the community.
Yeah, so maybe my Xbox sales prediction's not as bold as you think. Or maybe we just have a very Xbox-centric audience. I mean, I can tell you, like, I'm going to buy an Xbox Series S, and it will just be my Game Pass box. I have no...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'll play the hot new games on PS5, probably.
There you go. Last thing that we're going to do before we wrap up our 2021 Game of the Year episode is our most anticipated games of 2022. CB, you are first to answer. Which game are you most looking forward to this coming year?
Well, you put most anticipated games.
Oh, God.
So I picked 2.
Pick
I only
one.
picked 2.
I
can't
picked
because
a-
they're both too good.
I picked a bunch just because I figured you guys would slurp them up. So I'm ready.
Okay, I only picked 1.
I picked 2 because more than likely one of them is probably not going to happen.
Tunic.
No.
That's got a date.
That's
March.
coming.
March.
That is coming. March 16th, sir. No, the one I doubt is actually going to release because I still don't think it's actually going to is Dying Light 2.
Oh man,
There's no way that game does not come out in
It has to,
2022.
right?
I don't know,
Dude,
man.
I thought it was going to happen 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they dated it 2 years ago.
I know.
I mean,
Anything is possible.
The voice actor for the main character has been hyping it up a lot lately, so I think it is going to be coming out.
And I get at
Dawson in that
least
game?
2. What's that?
Isn't Rosario Dawson in that game?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for something catastrophic to be like next year. But Starfield.
Oh yeah, that makes sense for you.
It's weird to be that excited about something that we
Don't
know
care.
literally nothing about.
Well, it's
And
one
Todd
of the
Howard, I trust.
it's one of the most celebrated game directors in history, one of the most celebrated studios in history, and they've described it as Skyrim in space. I could see why you might get excited.
Yeah.
And Todd Howard, I trust. Just gonna get his face tattooed on my chest.
Well, I mean, like, has he ever let people down? Other than, I mean, Fallout 4 was a little disappointing for people, but
76 was a little bit of a
right, but they
Yeah, but-
fumble.
but they didn't.
76 has turned it around.
They
And it
turned
was
it
also,
around.
also wasn't directed by Todd Howard.
So
Zach, do you remember when I almost introduced myself to Todd Howard at E3 and it wasn't Todd Howard?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't
that's
remember
good.
that.
We were standing at a booth and I'm like, dude, is that Todd Howard? And he's like, kind of looks like Todd Howard. I was like, I'm going to go say hi, introduce myself. And I didn't. And then like he turned around and started talking to somebody. Like, no, it's definitely not Todd Howard.
Oh man, I remember meeting Brian Horton, director of Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Sam Lake. You know, friggin' Sam Lake, back to back. That was pretty exciting for me.
Yeah.
Remember when Warren Spector fixed the PC I was playing on? That was freaking cool.
Yeah,
All right,
that's so wild.
Now we're getting sidetracked.
All right, Alyssa, what is your most anticipated game of the coming year?
God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Ending. I'm kind of excited that it's only a duology.
Oh, it's going to end with this one? I didn't remember that
Yeah, I
being
didn't realize that.
They said it's the end of the Norse saga.
interesting.
That-
well, the end of the Norse
right,
saga.
yeah. So Kratos and Atreus could go because they remember, the first game teased out the other mythologies, so it is possible to go to Egypt or whatever next. But they did say this is the end of the Norse saga.
I'm okay with that. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah,
I
I'm okay with
agree.
that too.
No, I think it's an excellent choice.
All right, my most anticipated game of the year should come as no surprise, and it is Horizon Forbidden West. There's nothing else I'm more excited to play than that game.
Interesting.
Breath of the Wild 2.
Not going to come out this year. Come on.
No, yeah, it's not happening this year.
When your trailer says like targeting Q4 2022, it doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
I literally was going to put something to that effect in my predictions, and I was like, no, that's going to be too much of a softball.
Yeah.
Because didn't I do that? That was my softball last year.
Yeah, we just gave you the crap for it.
Yeah. I had another softball one that I considered, and I was like, nope, not going to do it this year. So
That's good.
Horizon just looks so good. I know you're not a graphics guy, but
I don't care.
I like pretty things once in a while. And the gameplay was super fun for me for the first one. So.
Yeah, I wonder when I'll get to it, because I'm not going to play it at launch because Elden Ring is the week after.
Yeah. Just wait, there's no point in spending the money on it that early.
There's just no. I don't want to do to the sequel what I did to the original, where I rushed through it in a week because Breath of the Wild was coming out. You know, I don't want to.
Yep.
Which game was that you rushed?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I want to play that DLC though. Looks good. Frozen Wilds.
It was good.
Grant, your turn, sir.
Somerville. You guys familiar with Somerville?
I do.
Man, it's the guy from. It's one of the guys who made Inside and Limbo. His new game.
Yeah. Looks great.
Holy crap! It looks so weird. Like it doesn't.
They showed that at the Game Awards.
It doesn't. It's hard to know what it looks like. Kind of an adventure game, a little horrific. Like is a family involved. I don't know, but it has some. It's got a vibe.
It definitely has that Playdead vibe.
It has the Playdead vibe, absolutely. Yeah. Which I am just there all time for me. Can I have an honorable mention?
Yeah,
sure.
Just one.
Grant, it's you, man. You can have whatever you want.
When somebody as effortlessly cool as you can do whatever you want.
Hey, thank you much. Well, for that, Advance Wars 1+2 comes out next year, which I'm super excited about. So I kind of forgot about that, but I was reading up, and that's dated. Well, it's dated like before the summer, which makes me hope it would come out next year. But I love Advance Wars.
Nice. And to round things out, Zach.
Probably not too big of a surprise, but Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
The best developer in gaming is finally coming back. Pretty excited.
You were kind of lukewarm on that before the last trailer came out, though, weren't you?
Right, yeah, because I didn't know how to judge it because it wasn't showing us anything. But now seeing the gameplay and seeing the different playstyles of the characters, we still don't, I guess, know what like an uncut 30 minutes, looks like. But yeah, the combination of Rocksteady and how funny the trailers have been, combined with finally seeing what it looks like in motion, pretty excited.
Their face tech is like nothing I've ever seen. It's like it's the same stuff I think they use in Injustice 2.
I was gonna say it looks very Injustice-y, which
is
insane.
Like just a fighting game. Their faces are so good in that game. So I think I don't know. I'm looking forward to that one too.
Yeah,
I'll go out on a limb and say that I think the trailer for that game looked funnier than the movie was to me.
I mean, because they get to play with the bigger characters too, which is exciting, right? Like Evil Flash screaming, he's like, "Why don't you just mail me the bullet?" It's good stuff. And if they actually have the balls to just kill off the Justice League in the Arkhamverse, that's a pretty big swing and move,
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see if they actually pull the trigger.
We'll have to wait and see. When does that one drop?
We just 2022. That's all we know.
No,
I think Gotham Knights is up first, which I'm also very excited for, of course. But I think it's Gotham Knights and then Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is only on PS5 and Series X.
Interesting.
It looks it. The face
that's going to start happening. This is going to be the year where games are going to be like, okay, no more going back. It's all or nothing.
I'm very surprised God of War is a PS4 game.
So am I.
It gets me more excited because that means the final game of the generation comes out, which always tends to be the value.
What do you mean?
It's a
like in terms of collectors?
Value.
If you look at the very last release of every console, it tends to be a little higher in price.
Just as a collection.
I wonder if it will be the last game, though, on PS4.
It'll be.
Like, it's probably the last first-party banger, but I bet people will keep making, like, Just Dance and stuff until 2030, right? For PS4?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
What was it? They just released a Vita game last year, and I'm like, the console's dead.
I'm kind of surprised Ratchet & Clank's on a PS4 because now that it was out, we know that it is not as special as they claimed. But I wonder if part of their marketing effort was we're going to try to trick people into thinking this game could only run on PS5.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just weird that God of War's on PS4 and Ratchet & Clank's not.
Yeah. Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it, guys. Our 2021 favorite games of the year discussion is officially closed. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our choices. You can email us at feedback@thegamingoutsiders.com or on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/groups/The Gaming Outsider. Don't forget, we also have a Discord server, and the link is in the show notes. Grant, thank you so much, man, not only for being here. Seriously, this has got to be 5-6 years in a row?
I don't know.
You've done this?
I was going to ask you that question, and I forgot. Do you know? I don't know.
I would have to go back and look. I don't remember when you started doing it. It was with the old crew, I know, and you just kind of kept it rolling. And I just love, number one, that you do it, but number two, that you actually do it because you like it. You know what I mean?
I like it.
It's awesome that you like being a part of it. I love that you play with the numbers and give us these stats.
I love
and
the
stuff.
numbers. Numbers are cool.
That's really cool. Keep that going. I hope you're keeping the numbers on a tab for each year.
Yeah, I think the first year is probably lost to it's in the ether somewhere, but I've got everything up since then. So
I could probably find that with some strategic email searches, but
we were pre-drive. I think there were some Excel docs going back and forth and stuff for a while, and it just kind of
could find it.
Whatever.
But why don't you also let everybody know? I know I kind of plug you each week, but let everybody know what you do and where they can follow you.
Yeah, I currently making music for games and other projects too. And my music's at stemmagemusic.com. I just did music for a game called Hextech Mayhem, which is like a League of Legends spin-off game on Switch and PC and for now. And then looking forward to working on some fun stuff in 22.
Sweet.
And appreciate you having me back.
Yeah, dude, anytime. We had you on once this quarter, I believe, too. Weren't you on in October or November?
Yeah, we did a little music thing.
Yeah, that's when you talked about Hextech too as well.
Yep.
Which is awesome. We got to have you on more often, dude. It's always a blast to talk with you. Love your work. I love that I have somebody else that I can talk to about pinball every now and then.
I thought about putting on my predictions for this year. There'll be a pinball machine coming out based on a game franchise. But I don't think we're quite there yet. But I think we're close.
Is there really not one other than FX tables?
No, not in real. I mean, like a real one, like a real life pinball.
Yeah, like a physical table.
I mean, there have been them in the past, but not like in the last 10 years. I don't think.
No, there's Stern made one not that long ago.
I don't remember seeing it.
Maybe there was one. I'm just not thinking about it.
Is it the MGC?
MGC.
We can figure it out later.
Midwest Gaming Classic.
Oh, I thought you were saying a video game franchise I didn't know.
Oh yeah, it's
like what's that MGC?
Marvel's Guardians of the Champions.
I was very confused. All right, well, Alyssa, Chris, and Zach, thank you so much for being here. As always, do you guys have any final words before we say goodbye?
Watch the second season of The Witcher.
Okay.
The correct game won Game of the Year.
Yeah. I think the votes kind of proved that. I was pulling for another game, but yeah. Yeah,
I wasn't going to win.
No, not my game, not Assalon. I think It Takes Two would have been much higher.
I think if you finished Guardians, we would have had the first 40-point game.
You think so? We're going to have to go back. I tried, guys. I really, really tried.
Okay.
Not hard enough.
Yeah.
All good.
I don't have the ability to stay up till 5 a.m. and without sleep like you do. I say that and I played Borderlands till 3 a.m. Alyssa, did you have anything you wanted to say?
I guess I'm in a throuple with Gamora and Zack now.
Yeah, finally. Life's finally coming together.
Oh, finally! Were you hoping for this?
Yeah, my plans have all come to fruition. It's a long time.
Awesome. Well, this is a blast, guys. I look forward to this every year. Thank you so much. And thanks to everybody out there listening. But that's going to do it for this, for our 2021 wrap-up episode of The Gaming Outsider, first episode of the year. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. I want to remind you that Nate Lucas is our producer. He puts the show together for us each week. We look forward to interacting with you all for another 12 months of gaming goodness as we look to make some positive changes in the go. You are all an amazing community, and we can't wait to see what's in store for us in 2022. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.